Okay. Okay. So, hello everyone, it's your favorite programming error that just refused to be fixed. Code here. And today we're gonna be continuing with some DDLC, with some club meetings to be more precise. And I have some fun stuff to say. I am doing fantastic today. Haha, totally. By the way, if I sound a little bit off sometimes, it's because my tongue is like partially numb right now. Hopefully it won't be that noticeable, but it is slightly numb. Which is good, actually. I'm very happy that I was able to get it to be slightly numb. Yes, you beat me in the amount of total misses. That is true, Deadly! And you know what? Congratulations on doing that. Very well done. Very well done. Beyond that, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hi, Dylan. Pure luck. Yeah, sure, it was pure luck. Nothing else, huh? I think it's time you realize that you are actually pretty... Like, again, your skill is constantly rising, while mine is pretty stagnant. And Spin is here too, hello! While everyone's showing up, I'm gonna quickly load into the game. Alright, last time we left off right before the emails. Hello, Neon, by the way. Hello. How's it going? Hope it's going well. Like the FNF song? Yes, totally, like that. Said you were offline? Well, I am online. So good news, my tongue, as I just said before, good news, my tongue is partially numb. Not entirely, but partially. Specifically the parts that actually matter. So, we should be good to go. Hopefully it will last for 3 hours. If the feeling in my tongue returns before then, we'll see how that goes. Wasn't for Demise. Yeah, Demise fucked me over. We can all agree. But yeah, hey Gabe. Alright. Right, doing voices now is gonna be fun. It's too early, I totally understand. Again, with any luck, it will be fine. I raided the medicine cabinet, found some stuff. Like, the initial portion of getting that stuff onto my tongue hurt like hell, as you can imagine. But now I'm fine. Fine-ish. Hope you feel better? Well, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it'll finally be over. After this stream, I have some time again, because the next stream will likely be next Friday, so I have some time to recover.
Shall we move on to emails, or shall we check out Yuri's new mod? Ooh, I want to see Yuri's mod! I always like hers! Very well, Yuri's mod it is.
I am pleasantly surprised because I think so far it's hardly noticeable that my tongue is partially numb.
Remember to maintain silence until the mod is over, or the game will confuse our actual voices with our mod voices. Here we go!
Punctuating with Yuri. Oh, I've been told about this one coming up. Okay. Grammar time.
Greetings, it is I, Yuri. In this mod we'll be using humorous examples to illustrate correct but also incorrect uses of English punctuation.
Which reminds me, looking back in chat, first of all, let's look at this message. I would have lost if it wasn't for Demise. First of all, the song name, because it's a song name, should be capitalized. Naturally, the I should be capitalized, especially because it's at the beginning of the sentence. Would off is just horrible. I think you meant would apostrophe VE, would've. And the rest looking good. Actually, never mind, there's no, like, dot at the end of the sentence. No period. That should have been there too. And that is how you correct someone's grammar, I guess. Also, hi Rob. Want to start? Please calm down. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll let Yuri do the talking now.
But first you might ask me, Yuri, why punctuate? Perhaps you think it's a lot of trouble, or that it's a needless formality which just makes one seem stuffy and doesn't add to meaning. But nothing could be further from the truth. Punctuation is like a little guide to make the reader of your for the reader of your sentences. It highlights to them what you mean when you write. Punctuation is a courtesy to the reader, a way to make your writing more easily and quickly comprehensible by them. And so good writing depends on thoughtful punctuation, considerate punctuation. So if punctuation has always been difficult for you, never fear. With the help of my friends, I'll give you funny and memorable rules for punctuation you'll never forget. Now, without further ado, let's begin. And probably the most commonly incorrectly used punctuation mark of all, the comma.
Now, I know a few funny examples already, you know. The usual thing of helping your uncle, Jack, off a horse, or helping your uncle, Jack, off a horse. Again, punctuation and capitalization is very important to convey the meaning of that sentence, because it can mean two very different things. Depending on if you're talking about your Uncle Jack or not. How insignificant our grammar knowledge is when it's compared to Yuri's. Yeah, fair. Her punctuation knowledge is it's gonna be superior.
For this, we're heading to a school party, and we're going to check in with a new girl who's not familiar with many people yet. Her role will be played by Sayori. Unfortunately, Sayori will get some help from another attendee at the party in figuring out who's who. Let's head over there now.
Alright.
It appears the party is already in full swing, and here comes our protagonist now. Let's start with a proper use of comma, setting off an independent clause which uses a conjunction.
Sayori enters the room and immediately looks to see if there's food at the party. At this party. Misspelling, oh fun.
That sentence was correct. There are two separate ideas here, and one of them starts with and, just like in the sentence. So it's proper to use the comma to set it off. It would also have been quite proper to say Sayori enters the room and immediately looks to see if there's food at this party with no comma. That makes the sentence sound more immediate. It feels like there's a slight pause when Sayori enters if you use the comma. With the conjunction there, the ideas sound related. Sayori enters the room, and then, aha, she's at once looking for food. Not unusual for her.
Yeah, definitely not unusual. Ow. That hurt. That's better, thank you. And there's no help.
What you cannot do is this.
Sayori enters the room. She immediately looks to see if there's food at this party. Yeah, that needs a dot. That's a new sentence. I saw the thing about the removing quote. I saw that there was a remove quote. And yet I can maybe remove that later. Maybe I can remove it later.
This is improper since there's no conjunction. That is what's called a comma splice. Here you're connecting otherwise known as splicing two completely standalone sentences, essentially with a comma. The proper thing to do if you want to hint to the reader that the clauses are related is to use a semicolon like so.
Sayori enters the room. She immediately looks to see if there's food at this party.
Alternatively, if you want this sentence to seem less connected to each other, you can just make them two sentences like this.
Sayori enters the room. She immediately looks to see if there's food at this party.
That would also be correct.
Miss Punctuation Teacher, if you're done now, I'd like to actually go get some food.
But Sayori, that last sentence was so instructive. It illustrates another correct use of the comma.
Of course it does.
If you could say that sentence again just for reference.
If you're done now, I'd like to actually go get some food.
Here, Sayori used an introductory element, the part that said, if you're done now. It's correct to set of elements like that. The comma is useful here to tell a reader that the introductory phrase is over and the main part of the sentence is about to begin. For instance, you could say, once MC gets to this party, Sayori will probably be a lot more interested.
Probably. Also, hi, Club Meeting. Hi, Dev. Talking is hard, especially with a partially numb tongue. Best mod ever. Indeed, it's the best mod ever. I can already tell. So until this mod is finished, of course, we will sit through this entire mod, absolutely.
I know who this MC is, but he sounds handsome.
Also take notice of how confusing these sentences can become when you remove their commas.
If you're done now, I'd like to actually go get some food.
Here it's hard to tell where the introduction ends. She could be saying, if you're done now, I'd like to get the food, or if you're done, now I'd like to go get the food. There's a slight change in meaning between these.
Ah, I guess you found it out. Good, then I don't need to do that.
And without the comma, the reader will have to stop and figure out where the introduction ends, which slows down their comprehension. Look at the sentence I said without its comma as well. Once MC gets to this party, Sayori will probably be a lot more interested. If you're reading along, you might think that MC is going to get a party Sayori, whatever that is.
Yes, a party Sayori. Can I get a party Sayori? I would like one. Yeah.
It's me. I'm a party Sayori. I hope MC gets to me soon.
Well, then of course you'd realize the rest of the sentence doesn't make sense and you have to go back and reread it to figure it out. See what I mean about punctuation being a courtesy to the reader? With the comma, the reader knows exactly what you mean the first time around. Anyway, Sayori, why don't you go see what kind of food they have here since you're so hungry?
Gladly.
Ah.
Wow, they've got so much here.
Alright, now it's getting... These sentences are very basic. They shouldn't be hard for me to say. I'm having trouble today.
Incidentally, you should also use commas to set off exclamatory phrases like wow, oh gosh, things like that. But what do they have, Sayori?
All sorts of things. Let's see, they've got crackers, a vegetable tray, assorted meats, and some cupcakes.
There we have another excellent use of commas, separating items in a list. Now, one subject of contention is the so-called Oxford comma, which is the last comma used to separate list items. In the sentence Sayori just said, it was the comma after meats. It's an optional comma, you don't have to put that comma there, unless you think it helps the reader to understand. Sayori, if you could be so kind as to repeat that sentence for us, notice that you could take away the comma after meats.
Let's see, they've got crackers, a vegetable tray, assorted meats, and some cupcakes.
People have different opinions about the Oxford comma. It's neither required nor forbidden. The rule is that you should use it, or not use it, in whatever way enhances meaning. Sometimes not having the Oxford comma can be very confusing. Sayori, who gives you the best presents on your birthday?
Oh, the people who give me the best presents are my grandparents, MC and Monica.
I see. Her grandparents, MC and Monica. Also correction. Within this mod, in the mod, Sayori just exclaimed that she didn't know MC yet. And here she says that MC is one of the people who give her the best presents. Continuity error in a Yuri mod? Yuri was so focused on the grammar that she threw continuity out the window. How could she? Clearly breaking character. The shock. Betrayal. How could this be?
You see the problem without the comma, it makes it sound like Sayori's grandparents are MC and Monica, because the comma after grandparents could be setting off an explanatory phrase about who the grandparents are, rather than being a list comma. It's much clearer with a comma, if you would be so kind, Sayori.
The people who give me the best gifts are my grandparents, MC and Monica.
God. Reading is more of a pain today than it would be any other day. I really hope that in the next couple of days I'm fine again.
Much better. Here the Oxford comma has eliminated the confusion. On the other hand, sometimes the Oxford comma can create confusion. So Yuri, what would you say are the things that have historically caused the most physical destruction in the literature club?
Oh, this one's easy. The most destructive things were Natsuki, a big 10-kilogram hammer, and several cases of caffeinated soda.
Here, the comma is potentially confusing. Someone who doesn't know Natsuki might think that Natsuki is the name of a big 10-kilogram hammer.
Yes, my favorite 10-kilogram hammer. Also, hi, I know, hello.
Here, the Oxford comma is making us think that a big 10-kilogram hammer is the explanatory phrase which applies to Natsuki rather than a list item. And so here it would be more clear if we remove the Oxford comma. Sayori?
The most destructive things were Natsuki, a big 10-kilogram hammer, and several cases of caffeinated soda.
There, that's somewhat clearer. So much for the list comma. Let's stop bothering Sayori for a moment and let her get comfortable at the party. Perhaps an opportunity will arise to tell you about this explanatory phrase comma we've been discussing so much.
Let's see. Oh wow, I'm sure I'm alone. Sure I'm new and alone here at this school. If only I had some kind of friendly face that would help with my orientation.
Never fear, new kid, for it is I, popular girl Natsuki, and I will help you get acclimated to your new environment.
Thanks, Yuri.
Good lord, how do you constantly actually talk like this?
Hush, stay in character.
Oh, thank goodness, I appreciate that you're willing to help me. I'm looking to make some friends. Is there anyone here you can introduce me to?
Oh, definitely.
List of VTuber animatronic matches is now 7. And it will only expand knowing you.
Ayami, who's the one drinking the punch, is standing just over there.
You see the explanatory phrase comma. The explanatory or non-restrictive clause here is who's the one drinking the punch. This clause isn't essential to the sentence. You could omit it and it would still work. If Natsuki said, oh, Yami's standing just over there, that's still a complete sentence. But if the clause who's the one drinking the punch adds additional explanatory information, it is correct to set off this kind of phrase with commas both before and after. You could also use parentheses, which tends to indicate that the phrase is not as connected to what you're saying compared to using commas, but more on that later. Let's let them get back to it.
Do you know any boys you could introduce me to, maybe?
Oh, let's see, I think I do. The guy standing over there by the speakers is a pretty neat dude.
Here, there's no comma standing over by the speakers, since in this case the clause is restrictive, essential to the sentence. If there were commas, it would suggest the guy had been under prior discussion. Natsuki's primary purpose would be describing that guy rather than indicating his location and endorsing him. Let's see the difference.
The guy standing over by the speakers is a pretty neat dude.
So that suggests that they had already been talking about the guy. Now on with the show.
Rookies play basketball in this mod. Well, Natsuki has played basketball at some points. At least she does free throws. Why is talking so much harder today? Trick question, you already know why it's harder.
Here, I'll introduce you.
I'm not sure if,
Don't be shy, come on, here he is. Say, Yuri, this is my good friend MC.
The comma in that sentence was the direct address comma. You use it when someone is being addressed directly. The comma separates their name or title or whatever you're using to address them from the rest of the sentence. So when Natsuki said Sayori, this is my good friend MC, she was correctly using a comma. And you'll also note that in what I just said, instead of a direct quotation with a comma as well, both before and after the quotation, but you only use that comma when there's a direct quotation. If you're just paraphrasing or summarizing what someone said, you don't use the comma like this. Miss Ida said she has a certain fascination with fire. No comma after a sentence like that because there's no direct quotation. Now, before we move on, let's Sayori and MC get to know each other a little better. Let's look at one last correct usage of the comma.
God, now I'm spitting all over the place too. It hurts to be numb, it's painful to be numb, I hate everything. But it's better than being in pain. It's so much better than being in pain.
MC, why don't you introduce yourself to Sayori by telling her when and where you were born?
I don't really have a true answer for either of those.
Just make up something plausible.
Okay, let me think of what year I'd have to have been born to be 18 this year. Hi Sayori. I was born on April 29th, 2004 in Tokyo, Japan.
As you can see, it's proper to separate elements of places, dates from each other with commas. Now, Natsuki, let's Sayori and MC get to know each other a little better. And let's use you to talk about some incorrect uses of commas which haven't already been discussed.
Oh, I am the whipping child. I see how it is.
One of the most common incorrect uses is separating a subject of a sentence with its object. For instance, Natsuki. Don't blame me, you're the one who suggested these example sentences.
One student's food trash might be another student's dinner.
Yeah, I don't even know why people would use a comma there. Okay, why is animatronic of... Ah, yes, of course. Anyway, where were we?
Comma there was incorrect. A lot of people are tempted to put one in there because you might pause for breath when saying the sentence aloud, but even though it's understandable, it's still not correct to put a comma there. Similarly, you should not precede a conjunction with a comma if the conjunction doesn't lead to an independent clause. What Natsuki's about to say to you, besides being terribly and unintentionally misspelled, is also an incorrect use of a comma.
I can be your angel or your devil.
I deserve that probably for reading that out like that as well. Yeah, I did say that. Also, what are you thanking me for now? What? For re-adding the anvil? Is that it?
The comma was improper since your devil doesn't stand its own as a sentence. If it did, it would be correct. If Natsuki had said it this way, it would be correct.
I can be your angel or I can be your devil.
Here, since I can be your devil stands on its own as a sentence, you can put the comma between the conjunction that joins it to the rest of the sentence. I can tell you already pleased to have said that, Natsuki.
Yes, I have memed well.
Indeed. Finally, this comma is incorrect when there are only 2 items in the list, like this.
The only 2 worthwhile things in life are video games and manga.
Honestly, I'm not sure how well I'm gonna do these 3 hours of streaming without chopping off my tongue halfway through. Punctuation mod with Yuri. The objectively greatest mod ever. Indeed. Also, hi. Indeed. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Can be your angel. I can be your devil. Can be your annihilation. Yeah, you would be, Rob. You would be. Yeah, there is no escape from this mod. There is no escape, and there shouldn't be. Everyone should sit through... Slow down. I need to talk more slowly today. Maybe then I can actually make sure that the words come out correctly. everyone should play this mod or take some kind of other grammar class before going onto the internet. Because there's so many people online who just, oh my god, I look at that stuff and it looks horrible. Especially people who use would off. What happened to your tongue? I wish I knew exactly what happened. But essentially, strong burning sensation at whatever I do, including drinking water. Everything burns. But it's better now. Downside, my tongue is kind of numb. I went to my medication cabinet and just rummaged through until I found something that I could use. And now my tongue is partially numb, but it's no longer burning as much, so I should be good for this entire stream. So, yeah. Fun. I drink water, D3 fire damage. Essentially, yes. That is what happened. But yeah, now I am okay. In terms of pain. It's just, I will probably stumble over my words a few more times than usual today. We'll see. Also, we'll see how long this lasts before it starts hurting like hell again. I like the agency for the sheer amount of Greek myths. Also, Zeus Gaming, very intriguing. Be careful, if it's numb, you might accidentally damage it more without realizing it. I'm careful. It's not entirely numb, just partially. Oh yeah, I did notice. It's not entirely, again, not entirely numb. I do still feel it, and yeah. Like, most of it I feel. But I will be careful. Hopefully.
The sentence, beside failing to mention Natsuki's wonderful caring girlfriend, misuses its comma since there are only two elements in the list. Correct would be this.
The only two worthwhile things in life are video games and manga.
Or, of course, that comma would be correct if there were more items in the list like this.
The only worthwhile things in life are video games, manga, and I guess my girlfriend Yuri.
Much better. Well, so much for the comma. Let's relocate and enter the wonderful new world of apostrophes.
God, how incredibly fascinating. I really just cannot wait to learn all about fucking apostrophes.
Yes, that was the abbreviated apostrophe. Very good demonstration.
That was not a demonstration.
You hush now, this is my mod. Onward.
Should there be a comma after girlfriend in that example? Getting called out now, huh? Hey, we talked about how this mod isn't flawless. Again, Yuri threw continuity to the wind by focusing on the grammar, or I guess you could just say Sayori in the mod broke character. Either one works. Because Sayori in this mod wouldn't have known MC, and she said, MC gives me good presents, in an example sentence. So wait, that wasn't even just Sayori breaking character. That was an example sentence in the story where Sayori is not supposed to know MC yet, where she mentions MC. So yeah, that was probably just Yuri not paying attention to the story, to the consistency. Imagine that.
We have two wonderful people having an enthralling intellectual conversation. Let's listen in and see if we can find any good uses of the apostrophe.
Did you see those flowers in the garden the gardening club is growing?
I sure did. I especially love these golden purple ones in the corner. Which student grew those?
Fused, commas, then Tormuse. Aha! I see. But who? But yeah, I mean, everyone's free to write their own way. Some people like the style commas more, others don't.
Oh, there's Hiroko's.
This is the classic possessive apostrophe, which you use to show that something belongs to something or someone else. It gets a little complicated when the name of the possessor already ends in an S, though. Oh, and what about the very tall red ones that sound like roses, that sort of look like roses? Ah yes, those are besses. We still use the apostrophe this way when a possessor is a singular noun, like a single person. Where things get really tricky is when the possessor is plural. Anyway, the gardening club children's flowers are very impressive. Here we still do the apostrophe followed by S, but only because the plural possessor doesn't already end in an S. If the plural possessor ends in an S, we do something different.
What does it sound like? I corrected myself to sort of look like. I corrected myself, but again, stumbling happens.
Yes, all the students' flowers are great.
In this situation, we just put the apostrophe after the existing S, but only when the possessor is in plural. Now let's move on to a new use of the apostrophe.
Why were we discussing grammar in the PE room? For obvious reasons. We just had to have a good setting. There was a party going on, you know.
Natsuki gave us a little taste of it before we left her, and...
Hey, what's up?
Natsuki, you're supposed to be on break.
Screw that, scooch over, babe. I'm crashing this party.
You see right there, that's the abbreviative apostrophe. It serves to show that letters were omitted. Natsuki frequently uses words like crashin' because her tone is rough and informal.
Hey, I remember this apostrophe. Remember when we were watching Hamlet? This is the apostrophe. This is the apostrophe used that was new when Shakespeare was writing. So he got all crazy with it and deleted to abbreviate into it.
Yes, exactly, but both your uses and Shakespeare's usage are not the most common usage of abbreviative apostrophe, as we will see.
So anyway, Miss Ida, did all your students get their lab reports turned in on time?
No, they didn't. Abbreviative apostrophes are found in all contractions, such as can't, don't, it's, would, wouldn't, shouldn't, didn't, and so on. In all such contractions, the apostrophe is standing in for the missing letters. For instance, didn't is a contraction of did not, and the apostrophe replaces the missing O. In would, the apostrophe stands for the letters would, as it is a contraction of who would. And in its, the apostrophe stands in for the letter I, as the contraction is it is.
But a lot of people get confused as hell with that last one.
Yes, people tend to get confused when a contraction is a homonym with a non-contraction word. There and there, it's and its, your and your, things like that. Possessive words get confused with contractions frequently.
Let's also not forget that there and there also often get confused with the third version of there. Man, I kind of sound like I have a lisp sometimes. But yeah, the three versions of there. And how often they get confused. It's so much. So much. But not as common as your and your, obviously.
So, clarified for 'em?
That one was standing in for...
No, stop, they get it by now. Seriously, clarify those homonym confusions.
Well, really, it's more of a matter of simple grammar than it is of punctuation.
It's a thing people do involving punctuation that gets fucked up constantly. If that's where people make mistakes, you should help.
Very well then, if you ever get confused between, for instance, there and there, remember the abbreviative apostrophe. The apostrophe is creating a contraction of several words. If what you need is they are, then the right word is there. If they are doesn't fit, then you're probably looking for the possessive word there. quite the same thing with its. If you need an S, you're using the right word. If you're indicating possession, use its instead. And with your, if you can replace it with your are, you're using it correctly. Otherwise, you're probably after the possessive word your.
Nice.
Now then, the last big use of the apostrophe is to indicate irregular plurals of numbers, dates, letters, and abbreviations. Monica?
This room looks like the FNAF 6 party room. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why either. That's the thing you see.
So, Miss Ida, tell us a little about your educational history.
Gladly. Back in the 90s, while making straight A's, I earned several MAs in chemistry and organic chemistry. We see most of these used just to mark a plural time period, like 90s, letters like A's and abbreviations like MAs. Incidentally, with dates, sometimes you also see the abbreviative apostrophe. For instance, some people write 90s since you're abbreviating from the 1990s. Most people do not employ this usage, though. However, it is still considered correct to use it of a single year. For instance, if Miss Ida was in the class of 93, you use the apostrophe there for the abbreviative 1993.
Did you really graduate in the 90s?
I have no idea. You just told me to make something up since time has no meaning here. Stick to the script.
And, Yuri, this line is extremely forced.
I know, but it has to be done.
And Miss Ida, what digit appears most frequently in your phone number?
Oh, that's easy. The number 9. My phone number has 3 9s. Because I couldn't shoehorn numbers into the last example sentence, here we are. Plurals of a number, as with 9s, use apostrophes in this way. As a style aside, note that it's usually proper to vary whether you write a number out or use the actual number when talking about numbers of a number. For instance, you'll notice the game showed Miss Ida is saying 3 9s rather than 3 9s, which is potentially quite confusing. I could also have transcribed it as her saying 3 9s.
Yuri, do you know when I woke up this morning? I woke up literally 1 hour and 15 minutes ago, after sleeping for 9 hours.
Another 9. Interesting. Ida seems everywhere calculating all possible phone numbers with 3 9s. They'll be all over that. Just you wait, it's only a matter of time. They're gonna call every single number that has 3 9s in it.
And this is still somehow putting me to sleep.
Fine. Let's move on to our next set of punctuation. Colons and semicolons. They're a fascinating topic.
Show off.
Onward. Thank you, Monica and Miss Ida.
Our pleasure.
Moving on. Yuri's room. Okay then.
You're here. Welcome.
Oh, wait, why are we here? I thought we were just doing narration now.
Well, we can't expect our friends to do all the work for us, can we? Besides, what better excuse for having a lovely girlfriend over to have a nice chat, one involving lots of colons and semicolons.
By the way, with semicolons, is it semicolons with no hyphen or semicolons with a hyphen?
Both are correct.
You had kind of Miss Ida secretly an emergency dispatcher. Country emergency number is 9. Of course, it all makes sense now.
I tend to prefer without a hyphen. Now let's begin with some example sentences starting with colons. One classic use of a colon is to introduce a list or sequence. Natsuki's voice is wonderful at many times, when she laughs, when she sings, and even when she yells. In situations like this, the colon can often avoid potential ambiguity. Watch this. We really have two options, Natsuki. We could stay and read together, or we could go out to eat. This pair of sentences is clear enough, but with the first option, stay and read, has an and in it, which might make the reader at first glance think stay and read are separate options. Plus, it's not completely clear that the two options are the ones mentioned in the second sentence. Adding a colon makes things completely unambiguous. We really have two options, Natsuki. We could stay and read together, or we could go out and eat.
Indeed. Natsuki sings, Doki Doki Takeover? Is this a Doki Doki Takeover reference? Are we doing FNF right now? I thought FNF Day was yesterday. Curious.
No, it's clear we have two options, and they are the ones described. Notice too that in that last sentence I'm using what I like to think of as the dramatic colon. This kind of colon makes it clear that the thing that comes after the colon is the final resolution to what was being hinted at or alluded to prior to the colon. The different punctuation can show different relationships between pieces of text, and the colon forges one of the strongest relationships. Let's have Natsuki give us an example.
Yuri wouldn't come out of her room the other day, and Monica banned tea from the literature club.
The relationship is very loose. That I wouldn't come out of my room may or may not have anything to do with Monica banning tea from the literature club.
Doki Doki, hi Bones, how's it going? We are indeed Doki Dokiing. And I can officially say that the numbness is definitely not perfect. It's not a constant burning, but for some sounds I can definitely feel a stinging sensation. And that is, for example, the yeah, there it is. That sound, yeah. That still hurts. Okay, good to know. Maybe that's why I should probably have more of a lisp. Ha ha ha. Really, what happened to your mouth? I wish I knew exactly what happened. Yesterday, throughout the day, at some point, some kind of little blister or something formed on my tongue. It's been burning. And I've kind of made do. I thought it would go away, but today it is still absolutely horrible. Constantly burning even when I do nothing. Burns more when I do something. Like, drink water, for example. That burns. Or, even worse example, eat food. Like I did, like, an hour before the stream. My god. I was almost uncertain if I could actually eat. I had to force that shit down somehow, because I was actually hungry. And now, with some medication, my tongue is kind of numb. Just eat ice cream for dinner. Maybe that'll work, but if even cold water, if even cold tap water burns like hell, I'm not sure if ice cream would be any better. I wonder if it's worth seeing a doctor. It started yesterday, and I was able to stream for 3 hours yesterday. Then again, today I'm reading a visual novel, out loud. That's probably gonna be a bit more taxing on my tongue. We'll see. Anyway, banning tea from the literature club, right?
Yuri wouldn't come out of her room the other day. Monica banned tea from the literature club.
It starts to become more suggestive, but still, with two different sentences, the reader can hardly be sure.
I will not say that phrase. I would probably die. Actually, I'll try. Thematic Thematic theater. Okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, that confirms it. That hurts. That still hurts. Others than that, it's mostly fine. With the exception, I still kind of got it there. It's mostly fine. It's just a few little sounds that still hurt. But other than that, with the exception of that, my tongue is mostly numb. Currently. Kind of.
Yuri wouldn't come out of her room the other day. Monica banned tea from the literature club.
The semicolon is much stronger here and definitely suggests that the ban had something to do with me not coming out, although how might not exactly have how exactly might not be absolutely clear.
Other than that, that works. I just have to sound like an idiot. Then it works. But no, it's kind of fine as long as there aren't too many TH sounds back to back, I think it's fine. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. As long as there's not too many back to back, I can manage.
Yuri wouldn't come out of her room the other day. Monica banned tea from the literature club.
With the colon, it's beyond all doubt I wouldn't come out of my room because Monica banned tea from the literature club. Did you notice that I also used a dramatic colon in the last sentence as well? Anyway, so much for colons.
What, no misuse of colon examples?
Colons are actually quite difficult to misuse. Even if you do, usually your meaning is still very clear. Usually the only misuse of colons I see are not quite grasping how to use them with lists. For instance, here is a common misuse. The 4 original members of the literature club are Monica, Sayuri, Yuri, and Natsuki. This is not correct because the colon separates the verb from the objects of the sentence. The sentence is still completely understandable though. Deleting the colon from that sentence would be correct. Alternatively, if you wanted to use a colon, you could do it the following way. There are 4 original members of the club, Monica, Sayuri, Yuri, and Natsuki. Sometimes you can even use dramatic colons at the end of a sentence to indicate that the next sentence is the punchline to the setup of the first sentence. As so.
God, you're such a lovable nerd. Now tell me about semicolons, you saucy wench.
Gladly. Semicolons have 2 primary uses. By far the most important one is that they join 2 independent clauses in a way that suggests they are linked. Basically, they are the cue to the comma splice as we spoke of above. Here's an example. Monica's favorite punctuation mark is the tilde. It's her primary method of flirting.
Man, so true.
Do you see how the semicolon indicates that the 2 ideas are linked? The reason Monica's favorite punctuation mark is the tilde is because that it's her primary method of flirting. But you can use semicolons anytime you have 2 related independent clauses. It doesn't have to be when one is a cause and the other is an effect, as that last sentence demonstrates.
Ah, of course. Tell me about semicolons. Man, just a quote for the ages. And what a quote it is. Yes, indeed. Natsuki with the most quotable lines as always. The comm class, oof, oof, oof. I see. Well, you better pay attention because there's gonna be a quiz later. No, there isn't. There's not gonna be a quiz unless there's one in this mod.
As the last sentence demonstrates, such is the primary job of the semicolon, but there is another. A semicolon can function in the same way a comma would in separating clauses and list items, but only when those clauses and list items have internal commas. Let's take a look at this sentence and see how difficult it is to parse its meaning.
Besides MC, the club has girls like Sayori, who's cheerful, Yuri the tall, shy one, Monica the president, and also, of course, the gorgeous Natsuki.
Oh god. Do you want to give repeat? Yes. Yes.
There are too many commas doing too many jobs in that sentence, and so it becomes difficult to parse. What the sentence needs is some semicolons.
Besides MC, the club has girls like Sayori, who's cheerful, Yuri the tall, shy one, Monica the president, and also, of course, the gorgeous Natsuki.
Much better. Here the semicolon functions as kind of a super comma, wrangling a bunch of comma-riddled phrases together the way a comma normally would. The semicolon can fill this role, not just with lists, but when joining clauses that are themselves plagued with commas, so.
Pain.
Some members think about their poems for minutes, hours, even a few days before they start writing, but others like me just try to get right down to business.
Against just too many commas, it gives the sentence a very run-on feel and makes it hard to tell where the new clause begins. Fortunately, a single semicolon can save the day.
Some members think about their poems for minutes, hours, or even a few days before they start writing, but others, like me, just get right down to business.
There, that is a good bit clearer. Just be careful not to use a semicolon in a situation as a joining element when you don't need to. If there are no other commas around, then this becomes incorrect.
Because Yuri's really smart, it really helps when I get homework help from her.
That is not correct. Well, it's factually correct, but the punctuation is not correct.
Oh.
Because there was no inundation of commas around to confuse us in that sentence. The semicolon wasn't needed. Instead, you could either omit the mark entirely or replace it with a comma as so.
Because Yuri's really smart, I sometimes get homework help from her.
Excellent. Thank you once again for your patient assistance, Natsuki.
Anytime.
No, come with me, won't you? It's time for rather an exciting topic. The amazing world of sentence-ending marks, like question marks and exclamation marks. And also periods, although they're less exciting.
This is by far the nerdiest thing I've ever seen you do, and that's saying something. I mean that as a compliment.
And I will take this one. And here we are in Sayori's bedroom. While we wait for her, let's briefly discuss periods. Periods are simple creatures. They have one primary job, which is very simple. They end sentences. It's difficult to misuse periods when employing them in their main function. If you have a sentence and it doesn't end in an exclamation mark, question mark, or other mark, you use a period. Very simple, very effective. We might envy the period's simple existence.
Yuri Natsuki is eternally cute. Yes, now that it's actually official that they're together in this mod, I'm very curious to see what kind of other flirts we'll get to see on the side.
The only other job it has is to denote certain abbreviations. Miss Ida, even though she teaches chemistry, never got her PhD, mostly because of concerns about the cost and usefulness of a high school teacher, etc. In that sentence, I correctly abbreviated Miss PhD and etc. with periods. Which abbreviations require periods is just something you have to learn one at a time. But in general, most common or frequently used acronyms do not need periods. The EDLC, for instance, would be quite troublesome to write if we had to put a period after every letter. Now then...
Where's my backpack?
It seems Sayori's having a typical school morning, and also illustrating for us the proper use of a question mark. When there is a direct question, such as "Where's my backpack?" a question mark is proper. However, you don't use a question mark when the question is indirect or referred to, like this. Sayori just asked where her backpack was. I didn't use a question mark there because I was making a statement.
TDLC gave me PTSD. Oh no, stop it. Don't write it like that. No. Neither of those words, please. Pain. I need to breathe for a second. Also, by the way, I can say this again. Even though the numbness isn't perfect, at the very least it doesn't burn while I'm resting. I can just be quiet for a bit, and nothing hurts at all. And while I am at the point where certain sounds are unpleasant, and one sound specifically stings if chained together multiple times, I'm still doing much better than I was before. So that's good.
Even though I make a reference to Sayori asking a question, in the end I'm still making a statement rather than asking a question. That's the question mark, and it's rather simple.
It is?
Yes, Sayori, it is, although it gets a bit tricky when you quote other people's direct questions. It is, Sayori asked just now. When quoting a direct question, you can put the question mark inside the quotes. Whereas if you're asking a question about a non-question, put the question mark outside of the quotes like this.
Was it today or yesterday that MC told me don't forget to bring your algebra book tomorrow?
If you're asking a question about a question, put the question mark wherever you like in relation to the quotation marks. Just be sure not to use more than one.
Wait, did he even tell me that? Or did he ask me, will you need your algebra book tomorrow?
There you could put the question mark either inside or outside the quoted passage. Well, of course, this all gets confusing since you see literally everything we say inside its own pair of quotation marks, but more about that later. Question marks can also be used to indicate uncertainty, though it's not proper for dialogue or most formal writing. For instance, here's a text I received from Natsuki recently.
Hey, Monica says don't forget the package, so just wanted to let you know she said that.
If an action hurts, that's your body saying don't do that. Try to work around what your body's telling you. I should work around that, yes. Like saying that with a D sound instead. That does make it easier. And less painful. So perhaps that's the way I'm supposed to do stuff now. But will I stick to that? As you could just see or hear, probably not.
Natsuki was indicating that she had no idea what package Monica meant and was just conveying the message as delivered. This kind of parenthetical question mark can be useful in many kinds of informal speech, but enough about the question mark, let's move on.
Man, I can't wait to see MC today!
A classic use of the exclamation mark, which is a very uncomplicated piece of punctuation. You can put the exclamation mark after any sentence with strong emotional emphasis. Excitement, anger, surprise, or really any very strong statement, just like with a question mark. When you're quoting an exclamation, the same rules apply, so you put the exclamation mark inside the quotes like this. Sayori.
Hey, remember several seconds ago when I said, man, I can't wait to see MC today?
Oh, very clever. Sayori asked a question, so there's a question mark at the end, but an exclamation mark within the quotes.
I definitely did that on purpose.
I'm also definitely hurting myself on purpose. Man, I'm glad that I'm taking an almost week-long break from streaming after this, until next Friday. It's needed, especially because I streamed for a week straight every single day without pause. Good. It's very good that this didn't happen at the beginning of this week, but rather towards the end of this week.
Don't forget also that exclamation marks can often be used with interjections, as the name implies, exclamations.
Fuck! Indeed. Right, just a rest or going away? No, just a rest. Remember, Fridays and Saturdays are, after all, the only days I stream on consistently, whereas every other day that I stream is kind of decided depending on if there's anything to do, like when I did this Minecraft week. And I've just decided that in the coming week, I will not do any extra streams, but stick purely to the two that are set in stone, and nothing else. Partially for my own sake, partially to recover from a week straight of streaming, partially because I'm not sure if there's anything worthwhile. Like, I'm pretty sure there's time until the next Genshin update, which means I won't have to make time for Genshin stream. Which means the only other thing I could do would be another Minecraft stream, and we just had a big week of Minecraft, so yeah, I think this is a good time to make another one full week break, which a lot of times I do that anyway.
Just like that.
Wow!
Oh, like that. Try not to overuse exclamation marks. When you do so, you cheapen them. Sometimes it can be worth it to denote a hyperactive or excitable character.
Like me!
Indeed. Also note that the exclamation mark has the same quasi-legitimate parenthetical function as the question mark. For instance, Natsuki was completely quiet yesterday. I didn't hear a peep out of her. The exclamation mark here indicates surprise at what the cause is saying.
It's also not true, viewers.
Yes, it is of course not true. Finally, let's finish with a very niche usage, which again is not something you would want to use in a formal academic paper or anything, but which can be very useful in some contexts. So Yuri, if you would be so kind as to give us one last example.
Why on earth do you think I wouldn't want a cookie?
You have the exclamation mark, the question mark and exclamation mark together in that order, indicating a surprised, excited, or otherwise emphasized or emotionally charged question. Again, not something you use in a formal setting, but very useful in writing dialogue to indicate tone. You can also put the question mark, the marks in reverse order, and some people like to do that when the statement isn't obviously a direct question, like this.
MC is gonna be there?
Yes.
But as for me, I think this pretty much turns it into a direct question. And I always use them in the order of question mark and then exclamation mark when I do this. Well, and that's all for the termination marks.
The Terminator marks?
Yes, that's what they're called. They terminate sentences.
Damn, you shouldn't have called them. You should have called them that at the start.
Oh god, that was horrible. Oh, that was too many TH sounds. Damn that.
That sounds super cool.
Designing puzzles is a pain. I feel so dumb. That's how I felt when designing some of my custom Portal 2 levels. Very dumb.
That sounds super cool.
If you say so.
You definitely should always call them that, Yuri.
We'll keep this in mind for the future, but for now let's move on to dashes and hyphens.
Dashes and hyphens? We're really starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel here, huh?
Hush, thank you for your help, Sayori.
Glad to help.
Will they be back?
Oh, I didn't expect to find you here.
Yes, I bring myself out here sometimes for inspiration, especially when I'm trying to write poetry.
Well, I don't suppose there are any hyphens or dashes in your poetry today, are there?
I hadn't thought about it, but I suppose there could be now.
Excellent.
That was a Terminator reference, yes. I'll be back. Indeed.
To begin with, the difference between a hyphen and a dash is becoming less and less all the time. Most keyboards don't even have separate keys for them. Although many word processors will turn a double hyphen into the longer dash, it's up to you whether you want to go out of your way to ensure that your dashes are dashes and your hyphens are hyphens. Some people just treat the two marks as identical, since they're both horizontal lines and the functions can't really be confused.
You know, I didn't even know that there were supposed to be two different symbols for it. I thought you... Oh, that was a horrible one. Oh, that one really stung. I always thought that they're just the same symbol. But I guess not.
But for purposes of this lesson, I will treat them as though they are separate. Let us start with the hyphen. The hyphen has one job: to join words or parts of words and turn them into a single word. Why don't you write a line of poetry involving a usage of this, Monica?
Sure. The star bright sea twinkles happily.
Excellent. This shows that star bright is a single word. Without the hyphen, we might be confused. We'd read the star bright and then get confused because the rest of the sentence isn't about a star. But the hyphen makes us realize that star is not the subject of the sentence. The subject is sea. Instead, star is just part of the adjective star bright. In addition to compound adjectives of this kind, the hyphen should also be the hyphen should also be used to disambiguate it when you modify a present particle.
The hyphen should also be use. Okay. Okay, Yuri. Part of your tongue. The TH sound, maybe. Ah. +1 to code. Yeah, I found one. Hooray. I mean, the I don't know if you saw it or if you missed it. You might glance over it because there's a T sound immediately afterwards, and T and D sound so similar. So if you read,
Should also be used to.
it kind of sounds similar.
Should be used to. Should be used to.
Again, it sounds so similar if you have the D in there or not. So, type in a grammar lesson? How dare? Yeah, how dare? How horrible. Minor grammar mistake, mod invalidated. Indeed.
Present participle in English is essentially any ing word like kissing, laughing, and so forth. Anytime you want to modify a present participle or some other word, you should use a hyphen.
It is indisputable that Code is a gorgeous-looking person.
Oh, why shucks. Clearly Yuri misspeaking and not my fault in any way. Of course, of course. Hang on. It wouldn't even be Yuri misspeaking. This is Yuri's mod. This is Yuri mistyping. Yuri did a typo in her grammar mod. Unless Yuri designed herself in this mod to misspeak. So did Yuri have an unintentional typo? Or did Yuri design herself to misspeak? Which is it? Obviously. Yuri typoed, clearly. Of course, Yuri typoed. Clearly, it just happened. She was in a rush when making this mod.
Not that without a hyphen, Monica would be saying that you're a gorgeous-looking person. Just a gorgeous person who is looking at something, perhaps. Which might be true, but that's probably not what she meant. For the same reason, you also need to use this hyphen when modifying a past participle of a noun. Past participles are usually ed words like killed, limited, or washed, but there are other examples which aren't known, for instance. Let's see what it looks like when we use this kind of hyphen correctly. Some more poetry, if you please, Monica.
The ocean washed jetty wears slowly with the eons.
Without the hyphen here, your brain might think, wait, the ocean washed jetty? Should it be the ocean washed the jetty? And then as you read the rest...
I cannot say anything today, I'm sorry.
And then as you read the rest of the sentence, you would have to go back and figure out what the writer meant. With a hyphen, all is clear. Another time you'll need the hyphen is to create compound adjectives, as with numbers modifying nouns like so.
I had to give a 5-page long report to the student council on the 3rd story student council room.
You wouldn't say Monica gave a report to the 3rd story because their 3rd story is not being used as an adjective.
Oh yeah, breezed past the title without noticing. Clearly I'm a fraud of a proofreader. Oh, how horrible. Get good, skill issue. Nah, seriously though. I guess sometimes I luck out and I'm like, hang on a second. Sometimes I notice the smallest details and other times I completely overlook major ones. That's the thing. I'm sure you noticed a lot more errors than I did. Or actually, maybe we noticed about the same amount. But you missed some I found, and I missed some you found. That probably makes the most sense to me.
Only when the third story is describing something else, like third story room, do you require the hyphen. You can also join nouns to create compound adjectives using the hyphen.
What you're playing is post-Stormy's proofreading. Aha! I see. So a lot of the stuff that you found isn't even in here anymore. Of course, it makes sense now.
The Sayori, MC, and Natsuki, your relationships are stronger than ever.
Oh, and don't be afraid when the situation calls for it to use compound words of this kind with 3 or more parts joined by 2 or more hyphens.
I love the regularly dazzling bright sea.
Oh, without the hyphens, the reader might think that the bright sea is regularly dazzling. But with a hyphen, we know that the sea has the attribute of regularly dazzling brightness. A subtle distinction, perhaps, but potentially an important one. Now on to a few common and easy uses of the hyphen.
Proofread. Oh! Right, there was another typo there. Playlist before the last Minecraft stream? I probably mean before the next Minecraft stream. Because I can't update it before the last Minecraft stream. Oh, you mean like the last in general? The next one is gonna be the last one. Also, I'm slowly starting to figure out a little bit of a way to get around the stuff. The hurties. The pain. Sadly, it didn't last as long as I would have hoped. The whole not being numb thing. Ah, ran into it again. It is still better than it was before, again, because I can actually, like, if my tongue is resting, then nothing hurts. Which is a definite step up. Unless a person would make fun of Dev for making fun of misspelling the word proofreading. But I like to think I'm above that. Yeah, you're totally above that. But still gonna point it out. Haha.
First, written out numbers that contain more than one number word, including all fractions.
1/3 of 99 is 30.
Okay, that is just a rude one.
33.
Ah!
Second, we use it for certain compound words, although there is no hard and fast rule for which ones.
I spoke with the editor-in-chief about your brother's Shobu the other day. Apparently, she does not care for 6-year-olds.
Oh, wait, really?
No, I just made that up to use some of the right compound words.
Oh, good. Lastly, the hyphen allows certain prefixes like X.
Even though Kenzo is Sayori's ex-boyfriend, they get along pretty well.
There are also certain whole words you can use this with if you're using them as a prefix. Monica is all-seeing. That's one example, but I only use the hyphen there because all is being used as a prefix. If I were to say Monica sees all, no hyphen is required because all is not a prefix. No, I believe that is all for the hyphen.
And I realized that I type on that sentence. The irony is not lost on me. Indeed. Gotta love the typos. Oh god, here you go. My grandma took a... to top of a burger bun, put butter on top and gave it to me. She sent her to Burger King. Excuse me? That is, what kind of nourishment is that? That is another way to get around that sound.
And I believe that is all for the hyphen. Let us move on to the subtle subject of the dash.
You know, Yuri, usually I don't agree with Natsuki about much, but this is fairly dry.
You don't like it?
I didn't say that. I like it just fine. I'm just saying that perhaps we need a short break. Maybe mix it up by giving people going through it something else besides punctuation to think about for a moment. Something fun and distracting, a nice little break.
Alright then, how about a story? The first time Natsuki and I kissed, such that both of us knew it was romantic. It was dark and I couldn't see her very well.
Well, that certainly is a story. This is a good compromise. This is a good compromise. I am the German after all. And yeah, the blush is probably warranted here. The blush is probably warranted. The German. Are you not the German too? Which Burger King? Sandwich or Burger King? I don't know what to tell you there. Sound like TF2 medic. I mean, he also is German, you know. This is the German way. We are doing this the German way now. Ja, mein Freund. Let us commence with the German.
The first time Natsuki and I kissed,
I just read that.
I walked up to her and quickly kissed her on the lips. It was just a mere peck.
Are you not pleased, her code? Indeed, I am very pleased. I approve. German science is the greatest science in the world. Now I'm slipping more. I don't even know where it was. And that is indeed a JoJo reference. That is a JoJo reference. Because German science is the greatest science in the world.
But her lips were soft and I could feel her body's heat was immense. Even from a brief moment we were in contact, her face must have been flushed. I wanted to seem cool, so I walked away immediately after.
Said I approve of this change of accent. Yo. Just add a Z to everything, it works. Everything. Just add a Z to everything. Golden wind. Yes.
I wanted to seem cool and walked away immediately after, but I was quivering with excitement, and of course I cared deeply about her reaction, so I snuck away a short distance and looked back at her. She was bright red and trembling, and she uttered a profanity very softly. It had affected her greatly. There, that was it for a break. That's a great way to introduce us to dashes.
Alright then.
Yeah! Alright indeed, huh?
One of the primary functions of dashes is to act as a more empathic form of punctuation that can replace parentheses, which we'll talk about later, and the dramatic colon. For instance, in the last example sentence, the dash replaced the dramatic colon, and here I'm using it again in the same way as an example. You should replace the dramatic colon with a dash when you want there to be an even stronger connection between what comes before and after the punctuation mark. With the dash, the connection is extremely strong. You can similarly use it to replace parentheses around a parenthetical phrase to emphasize a connection, but only when the parenthetical phrase is at the end. Like that. Finally, you can use the dash to indicate numerical or temporal ranges. Monica?
Oh, sorry, I was distracted. The Literature Club has typically had 4 to 6 members during its tenure, which lasted from 2017 to 2022 so far.
Thank you.
Herzschlag Literaturclub. Yes. Willkommen im Herzschlag Literaturclub. Did you know there's a boyfriend language translator? Why would that? Of course that's a thing. Of course. 2 years out of date. Well, I mean, at the time Yuri made this mod, you know. Badum badum.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Now we're drawing close to the end. 2 more major subjects remain. The last is a sort of miscellany of marks that do not fit in elsewhere. But first we must take a trip to the world of parentheses and brackets.
Sounds enthralling.
And so it shall be. Hello, MC.
Hi, Yuri. I guess we're not trying very hard to stay in character anymore.
No, that was clearly a futile and impossible endeavor. Just, read your lines when we get to the appropriate moments. Let's start with parentheses. You probably already know the primary use of parentheses, which is to separate some text within a sentence from the main idea.
Must. Well, we're doing maths now. PNG file has over 125 layers. That's a lot of layers. Where you getting all them layers? That sounds like a lot of effort. BF has a language, just have a... I just have a cipher. Wow, imagine just having a cipher. Lack of skill. Wow. Okay. Sure, just type in lack of skill, huh? Only 15 PNGs. That's still a lot.
You probably already know the primary use of parentheses, which is to separate text in a sentence from the main idea. Usually a part that goes inside the parentheses is explanatory, extra information, or somehow otherwise optional text.
Think of them as the secondary objective when the rest of the sentence is the primary objective, gamers.
Oh good, you're still here.
Damn right.
You've been quieter than usual.
I mean, I do think I have tons of really enlightening thoughts about punctuation.
The last comment wasn't too bad. Anyway, yes, the information in parentheses is secondary to the rest of the sentence. If you could be so kind, MC, as to give us an example.
I was making English muffins for Sayori. Though she usually likes toast. And we got to talking about her trypophobia because of how muffins looked inside. Now here's a question. Shouldn't English be capitalized? I remember learning at some point that stuff like nationalities, languages, all that kind of stuff should always be capitalized. It should. It should. Ah. Damn it. Enlightening thoughts about punctuation sounds like an oxymoron. Will defend herself because English muffins is a food, not a national. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Ruh-roh, MC. How could you?
An excellent example. The information in the parentheses is not strictly necessary to the sentence, and the sentence stands alone even if you remove the parenthetical. Also note that MC correctly placed the comma outside the parentheses after the end of the parenthetical clause. You can confuse people if you put the comma before the parenthetical incorrectly like this.
I was making English muffins for Sayori. though she usually likes toast, and we got to talking about her trypophobia because of how the muffins looked inside. What about Danishes? Do I have to say, oh, I take a Danish? Yuri is obviously very committed to this point. Of course, of course. You ate a Danish person? Oh my god.
The pause implied by the comma feels unnatural. It should happen at the end of the parenthetical rather than at the start. It's also incorrect to put the comma inside parentheticals in this case, as so.
I was making English muffins for Sayori, though she usually likes toast. And we got to talking about her trypophobia because of how the muffins looked inside. Yeah, obviously it wouldn't go in there. If you want the sentence to have a comma, and you put it inside the parentheses, that means you can exclude it as well. Of course, even I can get some basic grammatical knowledge in here. No comma inside. It's horrible. It's disgusting. Stay away.
In a situation like this, punctuation should not go inside the parentheses unless it belongs to the parenthetical phrase. Maybe MC could give us a proper example of that.
Here's a programming language, oh no. Sure. I checked out the booth of the school's philosophy club at the festival. Who knew we even had such a club? And it was much more interesting than I expected.
Here, the question mark inside the parenthetical is appropriate since it applies to the phrase inside the parentheses. Not that the tone conveyed by parentheses, the information contained in them is secondary. How was your New Year's this year, MC?
How was everyone's New Year's, by the way? I mean, I know we're already a week into the year. How's the year been treating everyone so far? For me, it's been pretty mixed. Again, with the current tongue problem stuff. And the immediate stream crash during the new year. So yeah, stress-free. Well, there we go. That's good, that's good. I didn't have a lot of stress, but again, some mixed stuff. This was fine. Quiet night at home. That's nice. Sometimes a quiet night at home is all you really want. Leave me very tired. So we got a few negatives here too, I see. Too bad, too bad. Alina, the donut that don't have a hole in the middle and are filled with jam. There's another interesting thing. Because those go by two different names, don't they? You call them either Berliner or you call them Krapfen. The big mystery. But Berliner is of course the one that would bring up the nationality problem, of course. Or locational problem. It's not like living in Berlin is a nationality. New Year's, I went to a party with a few friends and we passed through the doorway. Okay then. Okay, I see. Absolutely smash. Nice. Getting the celebrations. I see, I see. That sounds like you had fun. Oh, it's pretty good. I got a decent amount of money, $200.
Here, the use of the colon suggests that MC thinks the actual amount is very important information, not a shift in tone if we were to change these to parentheses.
I got a decent amount of money, $200.
Here, the use of parentheses for the same information suggests that MC doesn't consider the actual amount particularly important. It's all down to the tone of what you're trying to convey. Lastly, on parentheses, be careful when using them that you remember they're not officially part of the sentence. You don't change your grammar based on what you say in a parenthetical. Here's an example of an incorrect usage of this type.
Monica and Sayori too were in a broken world after the main game ended. Yep.
The problem here is the were, which does not work because the subject of the sentence is just Monica.
How many times? Okay. How many times does the phrase just Monica appear in club meetings in total? I am kind of curious. Enough times? Okay, I see. Some people call them Pfannkuchen? Why would they call them that? Pfannkuchen, that's something entirely different. That's pancakes. A Berliner, or Krapfen, is not a pancake. They're more akin to donuts, without a hole in the middle, as Spinne said, and filled with jam. They're not pancakes. Are people actually calling them that? That's the first I've actually heard of it because of how wrong it sounds. How's Mario's Madness for you? Didn't watch the stream due to it being too packed for me. I mean, that's fair. It was a pretty nice mod. Pretty fun, pretty fun. There were some things that were kind of annoying. But in general, I had a lot of fun with it. Spooky. Many misses to be seen. That's true. Yeah, that's true. There were a bunch of misses. Some are just Monica subtle. I needed Def to point them out to me. A lot of them. Yeah, I would imagine. Alright.
The word would be appropriate if the answer your 2 clause was not parenthetical, but it is. So instead, what would be correct is this.
Monica and Sayori 2 was in a broken world after the main game ended.
Very nice. Now let's talk briefly about brackets. The only usual use of brackets is inside a direct quote to indicate information which is not part of the direct quote. MC example.
In your reality, Monica sings to the player, "If I don't know how to love you, due to being in a different simulated reality, I'll leave you be."
The brackets indicate that the information within is not part of the quote from the song. It's just additional contextual information to help you understand the quote. Well, I do believe that does it for parentheses and brackets.
Also, I think if you leave out part of a quote, the whole triple dot, you also put in brackets usually, right? So you don't just indicate it for added context, but also for stuff you removed from the quote. That's something Yuri could have added in addition to that. But she didn't decide to add it, probably because she doesn't deem it as important enough. Just an additional little factoid for those who weren't aware for some reason. Should be another word, because when you say donut, you think about the rounding with the hole. That's true, that's true. There should be on its own word. Back, probably. Misspell something. In turquoise, I gratuitously use the phrase "only Monica" just to annoy Dev. Oh, I see how it is. Only Monica, huh?
I do believe it does it for parentheses and brackets. Thank you, MC.
Anytime.
Wait, what about the other kind of brackets?
Other kinds you mean like angle brackets?
Yes, and the squiggly ones?
Oh, you mean braces?
Yeah, the ones that look like that.
Oh, well, both angle brackets and braces don't have many uses in normal writing. Typically, they just have technical uses in coding or in sciences. And since it's focused on using punctuation in normal writing, I'm not going to cover them here.
Fair enough. This has gone on long as hell anyway.
Thank you for that edifying opinion.
Anytime, babe.
For the very last section, let's head to the club room and discuss a variety of marks which don't fit into any particular other category.
To annoy Dev? Ah, yes, of course, only. Is used to indicate in the quote is verbatim and not accidentally misspelled. Aha! See, that is new information even to me. Ever thought that Undertale AUs is just resetting with extra steps? You could consider it resetting with extra steps. But a lot of extra steps, depending on how different the AU is.
And here we are. Let's begin our last section with quotation marks. Obviously, this is a somewhat difficult topic since everything we say to you is presented in quotation marks already, by virtue of this being a video game, but never mind that. quotation marks are usually used to indicate that you are directly or accurately quoting someone.
Yuri said this is the very last section, but I have my doubts.
Indeed, note that in that sentence the comma was placed outside the quotes. There are varying usages where it comes to that. Different people and different cultures have different opinions of that comma. The rule I follow is to put the punctuation mark inside the quotes if it mostly applies to the quoted material, and I put it outside the quotes if it mostly belongs to the rest of the sentence. In that case, the comma was joining parts of the exterior sentence, so I think the comma is better used outside the quotes, but reasonable people can disagree.
And unreasonable people, can they not disagree?
Often quotation marks used selectively can be used to imply disagreement or skepticism about what is being quoted.
Oh hey, have you guys hopped the fence in the back of the school?
I have.
Natsuki said it would be safe.
This very particular quote suggests that Monica does not agree that it was in fact safe. In fact, this sarcastic/skeptical use of quotes has become so prevalent that now it is used in the absence of an actual quote as a sarcasm indicator.
Hey Natsuki, what do you think of this online always required DRM?
Oh, I love it. It's really fun and makes me not want to punch the developers who use it in the face.
It is unlikely that Natsuki is directly quoting something someone else said in this case. She is more likely just using the quotes as an indicator of heavy sarcasm. As much for quotation marks, there are also single quotation marks. These are typically used when quoting within a quote.
My dad told me, Sayori, a lot of guys will tell you I love you, but you have to be careful to see who really means it. He's really smart.
Well, of course there was a quote within a quote within a quote, but I will just ignore the fact that we are speaking to you from a visual novel that uses quotes around everything. In general, you use quotation marks for the first quote and single quotes within. Next on our list, ellipses. Ellipses have two major uses. One is to indicate an omission.
Oh, is this where she talks about the quote omission as well?
The Japanese constitution declares that sovereign power resides with the people. Government is a sacred trust of the people. These are three ellipses here. The first says that I likely started the quote in the middle of a sentence and I'm omitting the first part of the sentence. The second indicates I omitted some section between the quoted passages, which I appropriately consider unimportant to my point.
But if you do that in the middle of a quote, don't you still have to use the brackets around the ellipses? I always thought you had to do that too. Because otherwise it seems like there was a pause when you were quoting someone and it was part of the quote. No? Okay, for some reason I always thought you still had to use the brackets for some reason. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe that's just me. It depends on what you're writing for. I see. Well, I guess having the brackets never really hurts. It is a required sign in some places. Yeah, might be. Yeah, that is just required for me in general, or maybe scientific.
The third says that there's more to the sentence of that last bit I quoted, but I'm cutting it off there. Did you also catch my use of brackets in government? That was me telling you that government was capitalized in the original, but I was using undercapitalization to avoid confusing you. So anytime you are telling the reader that something was omitted, consider the ellipses. I note that frequently the game uses it when you drop in on our conversations.
And that's why MC's the best boyfriend ever.
Like that, yes. The other use of ellipses is to show a pause in speech.
I could try to eat at the cafeteria today, but their options for pescatarian meals are so limited.
This indicates that Monica paused in what she said and probably thought about it for a bit before continuing. Incidentally, the usual number of dots in ellipses is 3. It is possible to alter this, but only upward. Using fewer than 3 dots is confusing because people think you erred in ending a sentence with a period, but feel free to indicate longer pauses by using multiple dots. Just don't go too overboard like this. And also never use more than 3 dots if you're indicating an omission with the ellipses, then you should always use 3. Let's see what's left. Oh yes, I almost forgot, ellipses can also be used to indicate a character trailing off or any unfinished train of thought. When used multiple times in a sentence, it usually reflects a disorganized or chaotic thought process.
I mean, I could. The penguin. He never would suspect it. 11 times. With a bar of soap.
Excellent example, Sayori.
Also, welcome back, Rob.
Penultimate punctuation today is the slash. I speak today only of the forward slash. The one that goes uphill from left to right. This one.
Ah. You know, both forward slash and backslash are perfect, were, at least for a long time, I don't think it's like that anymore, but they were perfectly spammable in Neuro's chat. Anyone remember that? When she just kept saying backslash, 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 backslash. Stuff like that. Fun times. I don't think she does it anymore. I remember reading a fairy tale where a man tells a story in which a man tells a story in which a man tells a story, and then I shut the book. Yeah, a story within a story within a story within a story. Very nicely. Hard. Monica. She would say that. Alright. I see it. What you were taught in school isn't always applicable in all situations. Sometimes I think it's helpful to make adjustments to remove ambiguity. It depends on the situation. Fair. Again, no matter which part of the world you're in, I don't think any school system is perfect. Far from it. As sad as it is. A lot of the time a bunch of useless stuff gets taught, some stuff might be outdated, and you don't get taught important stuff. Example, stuff that doesn't get taught in school. How to do taxes. Stuff that does get taught in school, no matter what you want to be doing in the future, is how to analyze literature. Fair, I am playing a game about a literature club, but how many people need to professionally analyze literature in their future? Not a lot. So why does that get taught in school, but taxes not really? It's very curious, isn't it? Yeah, you got your green heart. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, we can also learn to analyze literature from this game. That was painful. I don't know why that was all of a sudden so painful. I'm honest, my own punctuation methods have changed over the past few years. I just started reading and writing these. Yeah. Yeah, that would probably do it as well. In Germany? Not exactly. Not entirely, I should say. Anyway, where were we? I keep trailing off. I'm not as bad as, I don't trail off as much as Tormuse with his famed Tormuse tangents, but sometimes I do trail off a little bit, and then I'm like lost in train of thought before I'm like, hang on, if I'm lost in a train of thought, I should probably just, instead of being silent, actually just get back to the game. And then it takes me a while before I get back into the game. You can actually really, sometimes you notice that moment of silence before I'm like finally continuing to read again. So let's try to keep the moment of silence brief and just get straight into
I speak today only the forward slash, the one goes uphill from the left to right. This one. There's also the backslash, the other one. The backslash is only technical uses, usually in code, so I will only speak of the forward slash. The most common use of the slash is to indicate that any of several words or choices could be appropriate. And usually this is done when using the word or instead would feel clunky.
Yeah, my brain did indeed do an ellipses. Indeed, indeed. Chat brain to calculate tax on a loaf of bread. What? What? That did a brain. That did not a. That did a brain. You no brain. No brain today. I'm sorry. Soft reset. I like to think I'm good at proofreading, but I'm not necessarily the utmost authority on what's best when it comes to punctuation and so on. Very, very fair. I feel like finding typos or like general grammatical mistakes. When it comes to finding typos or like general grammatic mistakes, like mistaking there, and there. Why did I do that to myself? Like that kind of stuff I can notice. But yeah, punctuation is probably the kind of thing that I would notice less of. If there was something wrong. A reboot worked. Did it? Thank you, Tormiers. How do Smash Bros pick their rosters? Well, you can. I know how they picked their most recent one. They just picked everyone again that they previously had. But I don't know exactly how they pick it. RNG, yes, of course. Now, they usually try to look for at least very relevant characters. Like, when they pick a franchise, they usually go for, like, the most relevant characters from it. So, yeah. What are we going to do when a new student joins the literature club?
We welcome him, her, them as best as we can.
Importantly for literature clubs, slashes are used to denote line breaks in literary writing, like poems, songs, lyrics, prose, and plays. When I lay in bed at night, then I disappear. I close my eyes and try to sleep. I vanish from the earth. Slashes can also be used in place of words like and versus in some situations.
I'm really happy with the progress of the Natsuki-Yuri relationship. I'm just really glad we don't have as many Natsuki-Yuri fights.
Indeed.
Someone's first language is English too. Well, enough good writing that I can usually tell if it doesn't make sense or if the editor didn't read the whole thing. As someone whose first language is English too. Of course. Now that's not an advantage I have. English being my first language. Well, it's my first foreign language. But it is not my native tongue, obviously. That would be the German that we talked about earlier.
Indeed. Slashes are also used in some rare abbreviations like without to indicate without. It is typically used for written abbreviations you'd never say without. The reader will mentally still read without as the full word without. And finally, slashes also have common numerical uses such as fractions like a half or dates like 9/22/2017.
Ah, I see. That is the American style of doing it. You see, when we write dates, we usually use periods instead of slashes, and we go from small to big, date, month, year, and we don't go from the month, which is like the medium-sized thing, to the day, which is the smallest, and then the year, which is the biggest component. We have it nicely sorted, one after another. The way it makes more sense. Objectively makes more sense that way. But I guess, if you're used to this way of writing it, then I guess, yeah, take what you're used to. But yeah, day, month, year makes the most sense, and that is objectively true, but doesn't matter. No, most of the time people will understand. I'll try to shit out my English assignment after listening to Yuri's whole lesson. Good on you for correcting that.
That's all for slashes. Now let's end on a light, easy mark, the tilde. Well, officially, in normal English, the tilde is only used to indicate an approximation.
A club needs to have about 20 members before they qualify for serious funding from the student council.
But unofficially, a tilde also serves as a tone indicating terminator mark, showing a flirtatious or teasing tone.
Natsuki's going to Yuri's house after this.
And compare that sentence to the next one.
Natsuki's going to Yuri's house after this.
I trust I do not need to explain the difference in Sayori's intended meaning. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you have learned something useful that will help you with your writing.
What about everything else?
BRB, alright, see you in a bit then. Teehee, that is another one where you use that oftentimes. Whose mistake I make regularly. Okay. Now that's a mistake that's also understandable. This lesson will be really hard only in speech. Yeah, in speech it's definitely difficult. And here comes Ivan with the what would that be? Lawful evil approach of year, month, day.
Anything else?
Yeah, you know, like carrots and dollar signs and hashtags and ampersand, stuff like that.
Well, all those marks either have very specific technical uses, not applicable in general writing, or they are almost impossible to use incorrectly. The ampersand, for instance, literally is just a one-for-one replacement of the word and. Sayori and MC are very cute together, but mostly all those marks are not things that would be worthwhile to add in this already very long lesson.
Ah, Natsuki wants more Yuri nerd lessons. Come on, Natsuki, just admit you want Yuri to go on for longer. The person who's been beaten. The person's friend was beaten. Whose friend was beaten up. Way, year, month, day. So yeah, lawful evil. Corporate is lawful evil. Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. You have gone on for 1,000,000 years already about punctuation. Far be it from me to make you keep going.
Indeed, so with my thanks to my helpers and my thanks to you for sitting through it, I will bid you adieu. Bid you an affectionate adieu. I hope you learned something valuable.
It took almost 2 hours to get through the grammar lessons today. If emails take another hour, then we won't even be able to start the next episode. And we're only playing half an episode today by the looks of it. Oh no. Oh no, oh no.
Wow, Yuri, that was very thorough.
Thank you. That was an excellent demonstration of a good use of an ellipsis.
Alright, you can see the text, can't you? Well, in any event, that was perfectly charming. You know a lot about punctuation, Yuri.
I like to think I do. Do you think you'll remember any of the punctuation rules in there, Sayori?
Yeah, probably. I never really thought much about semicolons before, but now I think I'll use them more. I like them, they're a friendly punctuation mark.
Now, wait for it. Sayori's next poem is gonna have them in it. Sayori's next poem is gonna make full use of all these new punctuation marks that she learned. Save for next time. Might be. But yeah, we played like half of this episode last time. Because I thought, yeah, we can do the rest of this episode, and maybe if the next episode is short, we can do that and finish that off too. And here I am, 2 hours in and still on this episode that I already started in the previous stream. Week of DDLC to clear this? Nah, that ain't happening. It's chaotic neutral, alien activity? I don't know, you tell me. Hey, did I actually read that? Hang on.
I like them, they're a friendly punctuation mark.
They are pretty friendly. Good mod, Yuri.
Thanks. Natsuki.
You know, babe, I think the me and the mod said it best. This may be the nerdiest thing I've ever seen you do.
Natsuki, don't make fun of her mod.
Make fun of it? It's fucking hot.
Okay. Grammar's hot. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Specifically, punctuation is fucking hot. I do need to rest my tongue sometimes, yes, sadly. I don't even know what I'll do after the stream. I didn't eat much today because of the pain. But if I can use the time after the stream to renumb my tongue again, Maybe I can then make something proper to eat for myself to recover, and then we'll see. Alright. Get a smoothie with a straw. That would also be an option, huh? I'll see what I have. I'll have to check the fridge, see what I have. Consume ice. I'll have to see what I even have before I decide on what to eat.
I see. It was a compliment.
Heck yeah! I love it when she does all her super nerdy shit.
Well, I'm glad then. I remember when you used to give her a lot of trouble when she talked about an academic topic at length.
Her response then was the rough verbal equivalent of kicking your crush's shins.
So it would seem. Well, shall we move along to emails from the real world before we wrap up for the day? Yep, I've got them already. Good. Don't forget that you can send your emails for us at lit.club.press.monica@gmail.com. And you can email the same address to request an invite to our Discord. Assuming you're a reasonable person and not a horrible internet cellar dweller, of course. But the vast majority of you are quite excellent. Anyway, let's see the first email.
Alright, before we do that, let me check again. Tutorial punctuation is a vibe. Alright, let's see. What else do we have here? If that's what it takes. What was even the context for that quote? I don't even know anymore. Kicking shins is now is how Natsuki shows love. It is how tsunderes show love in general. Verbal and physical abuse. It's their love language. Like MatPat told us, math is hard. Yes. What was the quote again? Trying to think of the direct quote from MatPat. I think it was, and nothing, not even that lolly on the other page, is sexier than math. I do believe that was a direct quote from him. Alright, first email. Questions for anyone. I've noticed you also have a hard time adjusting to the first couple of seconds after being granted club president awareness. After knowing the feeling well, how long does it take to feel normal again and forget you're suddenly omniscient? Also, is it anywhere near as jarring when you lose president title? And now for a few fun ones.
Oh, I see. To be honest, I barely even notice anymore. It's practically the same feeling as putting on glasses. Like, yes, your perception changes, but you're so used to it that it's just not notable anymore. Same thing goes with losing that perception. I've just become acclimated, I suppose. Becoming the president is really hard the first time. It really feels hollow and confining. It's a really scary experience. Please remember that when you think of Monica. You know, if you got rid of Monica early in the game, I just couldn't handle it at all and shut down completely.
Which you can't even do anymore in the Plus version, by the way, getting rid of Monica early. Which again, in that way the Plus version is a downgrade. I really do like the side stories and all the extra meta stuff that they added, but not being able to mess with the files anymore, as freely anymore I should say, is kind of eh. I get it, they had to do it for the console versions, but come on, they could have had a little bit more liberty with the PC release. You actually can? I tried it though. I tried it and it didn't work. And at the very least, one thing that definitely doesn't work is backing up character files and trying to drop them in again later. Because there's no such thing as copying or saving a file in the engine. And yes, of course, when you quoted me on quoting, hey Vsauce Michael here, is math harder than loading the next page, or is it mathier? Game, for inputting name, go back to the desktop, delete Monica, come back, start game. Okay, so that works.
Monica at least did better than that. Anyway, I always feel dizzy when I become club president still, but that's probably because I don't do it as often as Monica. When you lose it, it feels like waking up from a dream. Or maybe you were in one of those waking dreams, where you're half asleep and half awake, and you know you're awake, and then suddenly you wake up fully. That feeling.
Being a president fucking sucks. It never feels normal again. Not even after you're not president anymore. And I never forget about all the bullshit while I'm president. I have to consciously try and ignore all the constant stuff. You have no idea. I have no idea how Monica does it.
As for me, it takes me a few minutes to become fully reoriented, although it has become easier with time. It's much more disconcerting to go back to normality. It leaves a certain emptiness. Your presence and the awareness of the full truth brings a certain depth and energy to the world. And when it's gone, that is truly what that feeling of hollowness that Sayori described sets in, at least for me.
We'll get some rest, have a good stream. I will. You get some rest. I'm gonna need some rest later too. Wow, what confusion was that? What was that, Rob?
At least for me. Now, let us see what your other fun questions are.
And now for a few fun ones. Yuri, thoughts on those people who make tea using the microwave? So Yuri, what unconventional pet would you take on owning? Legality and price not an issue. Natsuki, have you played COD Zombies? Most OP perk drink thing in your opinion? MCU, city high-rise apartment or peaceful country cabin? Monica, you have $10k cash and have to spend it all in the next hour. What do you do? More for Sayori, I'm just catching up on you guys' adventures and in my season 1 you told us your birthday. My birthday is on the same day and you're also my favorite. And unrelated, but I love cats and I was wondering what your old kitty Charlie looked like. Zach.
It's certainly not how I'd ever make tea. Tea is a whole experience to me, and the brewing of it is as enjoyable as the drinking of it. So for me, it's inconceivable to brew tea using a microwave rather than a kettle. It takes away half the experience. That said, I'm not going to judge people who do it that way. If you need tea fast, you need tea fast. Or perhaps you simply don't have the energy or mental resources at the moment to make tea the proper way. In such a case, I would understand, though never replicate microwave tea.
Say City Hara's apartment is pretty cool. Is it now? Right, you moved recently. DLC mods are safe from Rob. They are not. They are not. No, nothing is safe from you, I guess. Doki doki. Hey Doki doki, Code here. How long does it take to finish a club meetings episode? Can it even be done? Let's find out. It was a lot faster in season 1 where I did 2 episodes per stream and I carried that on into season 2 and then season 3 came around and now here we are. Starting an episode halfway through. 2 hours into the stream, we're still in the episode. Out of the City High-Rise apartment. Ah, I see it was fun. Glad to know. Distraction indeed. Now let me get back to it. Away from the distraction.
It is your turn now, Sayori.
Ow.
Unconventional pets? Oh, I'd want like an elephant. Or maybe a capybara. Or like a red panda.
She likes every pet.
I see an
Every
girl
option.
running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she
We
might
get it.
draw to herself. That girl is Sori, my neighbor and good friend.
I still don't know why it pronounces it as sorry.
No, the kind of
Bad
friend you
TTS.
see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but stop.
Yeah, the TTS is quiet. It's better now than it is during FNF streams. I really can't figure out how to turn up the TTS volume specifically. I tried. It's basically maxed out. I have to readjust the game volume separately, but that would mean that every single game I boot up I have to lower the volume. Anyway, but yeah, Sayori, definitely a good choice on the capybara. I mean, they are friend-shaped, so, you know, definitely a good choice for a pet.
Several red pandas. Okay, an elephant, a capybara, and several red pandas.
until she thinks about it more and decides on several other ones.
Probably.
Oh yeah, I played COD Zombies, not a lot, but I played it. I don't remember the name of it, but one that gives automatic headshots is really good. That would probably be my choice.
A real gamer would just click on the heads without any help. Oh! Saying Natsuki's not a real gamer. She's gonna kick your ass. MC gets to pick the game, but she's gonna kick his ass. So sometimes there's a way to increase the volume. Maybe I can figure something out at some point. The community meme achieved. Anyway. Alright.
Thank you so much for your valuable input. Now get your ass over there and answer the question before I put my boot in it.
You don't even wear boots.
Stop tempting fate, boy.
This is a difficult choice for me. I can see the advantages of both. If you really make me choose, I think I'd go with a high-rise apartment. I'm just a little too used to urban comforts to give them up. As peaceful as country life might be. Monica?
Oh, that's a lot of money. Is it money in my world or money in your world? If it's money in your world, I'm buying servers. If it's money in here, gosh, I don't know. I don't really want for a lot. I'd probably give it to Natsuki.
Hey, I don't need charity money.
I know you don't, but you could definitely use the money, probably in very interesting ways.
What's that supposed to mean?
Okay, yes, that's true. Angry confrontation retracted.
Thank goodness. So you're the last part?
Welcome back, Dormuse. We're on to emails. Hooray. Slower than the pot, as microwave heats up the cup more than the liquid. True. Still not. In that case, why do people make microwave tea?
Hey, birthday friend. I'm glad I'm your favorite, Zach. My favorite is MC, of course, but you're really high up there. Johnny was an orange tabby kitty with green eyes. He was really agile and a really good hunter when he was young. And he always kept himself really clean. When he got older, his coat kind of got a little scruffy. So he always liked it when I pet him and keep his coat smooth then. He was a very handsome cat. I miss him. Okay, that's all. Next one. Next one.
Microwave tea, holy shit. Yeah, apparently those people exist. Once tried, I wanted to die. Horrible. Kitty indeed! You gotta appreciate this one.
Tongue.
Okay. Big oopsie. But we're back. But yeah, cats are adorable. We need a... Oh, everyone always needs a picture. I decided tongue, no. Don't you mean no.
Oh, a question about fanfic, I see.
Hey Club, I'm not really into real proper literature, but I do read a lot of online stories, so I wanted to ask a hypothetical. One day someone new walks into your club, you ask them about what sort of literature they like, and they respond with internet fanfiction. How do you each respond? Thanks for reading. P.S. Monica, I know these email sessions can be long, so here's a snack. Eyes? Eyes? What? My grandma, let's just say she learned that day. Yeah! Microwave tea does not make any sense. At all.
You know, not long ago, I probably responded critically to that. I would have said fanfiction is low art, but I've changed my opinion.
It depends. There's good fanfiction and there's bad fanfiction. If you want an example of good fanfiction, look up a Portal fanfiction called Blue Skies. It's a long one, but it is basically like one of the few fanfictions I read, and it's definitely high quality. Absolutely.
but I've changed my opinion. I think that fanfiction is valid literature. Now, mind you, there's a lot of bad fanfic,
As I said.
but that's true of all forms of literature. There's lots of good fanfic too, so I'd probably ask them to tell us about some good fanfiction they like.
Wow, Monica, you've grown a lot. Become a lot more mature and less pissy about literature. But yeah, obviously I agree, fanfic is legit. Now let's hear Yuri tell us about how we're wrong.
No, I believe fanfiction is literature.
Great fanfiction, good fanfiction, and bad fanfiction. Yeah. It exists in a variety of different flavors.
No, I do believe fanfiction is literature. Unlike manga, it primarily delivers its information via the written word.
Wow, so you're saying fanfic is more literature than manga. So if someone writes a fanfic about a manga series, then the fanfic would be considered literature, but the original work it's based on would not be considered literature anymore. That seems very dumb. Oh, that book. Oh, book. Alright.
Unlike manga, it primarily delivers its information via the written word. That is written by amateurs about licensed properties does not make it invalid. So no argument for me, fanfic is valid literature.
That seems to track with Yuri's stated opinion. It's still stupid. Because manga is literature.
Of a genre of which I have very little personal familiarity.
I agree.
Me too! I'd be like Natsuki, I'd want to know what fanfiction they thought was good. Well, there we have it.
Wait, hold on. What's with this row of eyes at the bottom after they offer you a snack? Are they wanting to watch you eat or what?
I doubt that. Whatever it's about, I guarantee you they will not be able to watch me eat.
Right, because that would be creepy.
Right? Anyway, here's the next email.
Just moving on. Club meetings Discord in joke? Is it now? I'm out of the loop. Again, I have to ask for that invite in my next email. Are you a furry? No. Why? I'm a weeb, which is a community that oftentimes overlaps with the furry community in certain ways. But I would not consider myself a furry in any way just because I have a Neko Girl version. That is the closest you'll ever get to see me to a furry. Because animal ears. But that is the limitation of it, essentially. Why do you ask? Email. Oh, I will still ask in an email, probably.
Anyway, here's the next email.
Hey guys! What are your love languages? I predict so yours to be maybe acts of service, but I don't know about the rest.
Our love languages! Does everybody know what this means? I could use a refresher. So there was this counselor who had a theory, and his theory was that there are 5 ways people primarily express love or experience love from another. And those are the love languages that people understand. But sometimes there's trouble because people don't always have the same love language. So they might be experiencing things that from their partner that they aren't getting. Or they might be giving things to their partner that are different from what their partner expects from them. So it's important to understand your partner's love language so that you can both feel loved.
Hey, when people say people with animal ears and animal tail are only after. They really aren't. It's like going in the direction of furry territory, but it has nothing to do with furries as a whole. Well, furries are, exactly. Neko girls are not furries. Some people will see, it's like, put it like this, on one end of the spectrum you have a human, on the other end you have an animal. Furries are closer to the animal side than, for example, Neko girls. Neko girls are closer to the, like both are somewhere in the middle, but again, Neko girls and stuff like that is way, way closer to the human side than the animal side of the spectrum. The event. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, it isn't one, exactly. I'm thinking of the entity, and while the... concept fits, I am confused if you should be an animal or not. Well, that is for you to decide, I guess. You are the one who has the idea of the concept, after all. Either way, I'm curious how that's gonna appear.
So it's important to understand your partner's love language so that you can both feel loved. One other love language is supposedly affirming words, quality time, gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Mine are all of them. Or at least I like receiving all of them and understand all of them as love. I also tend to give all of them, except for acts of service.
I predict Sayori's to maybe be acts of service. I give all of them except for acts of service. Damn.
Being really depressed tends to make that hard. Really makes all of them hard from time to time. But especially the acts of service. But other than that, I'm a love omnivore. What about you guys?
There are furry... Well, not they're wearing anything doesn't matter as much. It's just more overt indicator. I see, yeah. That's an opinion, yeah. Oof, prediction denied. Hard denial on that one, yeah.
What about you guys? An interesting question. I've never really thought about it before. I think what's most important to me is affirming words and physical touch. The rest of them seem somewhat oblique. But direct words of love and physical touch are unmistakable affection, so that'll be my answer.
For me, it has to be quality time. Nothing is more important than quality time. For a relationship to feel real and meaningful to me, I need to spend lots of time feeling close and together. Unfortunately, guys who understand that are not very common. But I'll keep looking.
I guess for me it's gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Words are just words, they're nice but don't prove anything. And I feel like quality time doesn't really do anything for them. Just being there isn't enough.
Actually, sometimes being there for someone is enough. I've mentioned this before, I think in the previous stream actually, where Yuri was talking about how MC helped her out by just sitting down near her without really interacting. Sometimes just having someone near you is really enough to make your day better, and that can definitely be a love language. Absolutely. Letting physical touch when she wants is the only one she can touch. True! Maybe quality time is your love language. Maybe. Or maybe I also have multiple. I have not really thought about it much. Haven't really had much of a reason to think about it. I probably would think more about love languages if I actually had, you know, a romantic relationship. Now, I'm not saying that romantic love is the only love out there again. So maybe quality time really is enough for me. It very well might be. Acts of service are mine for sure. Very fair, very fair. I have a feeling that you're right, that quality time very well might be at least one of my love languages. Huh. I'm learning more about myself today. It is very interesting. Do I have a favorite animal? To really not answer that question, I think a lot of animals are cute, but if I had to pick one favorite, bats. Bats are adorable. You can't tell me otherwise. They're cute little creatures. Alright, where were we?
Just being there isn't enough.
But if we're talking about like... Yeah, no, I'll stick with bats. Absolutely. They're adorable.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yep, basically.
Well, I learned something valuable today then. Most important for me are affirming words. Somewhat less important are physical touch and acts of service. Quality time and gifts are wonderful, but not absolutely required for me. Unanswered does frequently bring me gifts which make me feel quite loved.
Gosh, it's hard to pick one. It's bad, I freaking love Halloween! Fellow bad lover, let's go! But aren't they so adorable though? Yeah, they bring the spooky atmosphere for stuff like Halloween, but they can also bring the adorableness, if need be. Gosh, it's hard to pick one. For me, the most important ones are quality time and physical touch. I'll avoid temptation to pick a bunch of other ones. Fortunately, I have a girlfriend who's a love genius, so it doesn't matter too much. Bats and cats, indeed. Couldn't have said it better myself, Bones. Bats and cats. Summarizes it perfectly. Cats are the best pet. Bats are cutest non-pet animal. And there it's all cleared up, isn't it? Pretty much all animals, that includes bats, they are indeed cute. I agree. Basically all animals. Pretty much all animals is a valid opinion. But if I had to pick like one favorite. But it is kind of hard because there are a lot of cute animals out there. Again, take capybaras. They're just friend-shaped. You can't argue with it. They are friend-shaped. Everything she does makes me feel loved. And hopefully I do a decent job showing her my feelings.
You should do, handsome man.
Well, let's keep moving with the emails then, huh?
Sure thing.
Hi Monica, I hope the break you have been taking has been doing you well. I really miss seeing you every week, so I really hope to see you again soon. I'm glad that you and Sayori managed to patch things up, and I won't be mad at Sayori since you told me not to be mad at her anymore. In the last email you answered. Since you two worked it out, I have no reason to be mad at her any longer. I'll write you on to some questions hopefully, none of these are repeats. I'm sorry if they are though, getting difficult to remember what was asked and what hasn't. Anyway. Alright, what else is going on? Third season. Honestly, I might have to pick season 1. Because it set everything up perfectly. It set everything up in the story perfectly, and that is like something that a story needs to do. Season 2 was also great. It's hard to form a solid opinion on Season 3. It's been great so far, but it's not finished yet, so I can't really say anything solid about it. I went with a crow design, but stopped on the head since black ran out. Ah, I see. Friend-shaped. The whole existence is friend-shaped. Yes, yes, it's true. 1. This might be a sillier question of mine, but if you were in the Matrix, which character would you want to be, and which character do you think you would end up portraying if you were in those movies? Though this would be a fun question since both the DLC and the Matrix deal with artificial realities.
This was a rather long one, and they wanted to ask all the questions of me. Please do be kind to Sayori. Incidentally, everyone out there. I assure you she has been through enough. But anyway, onto the question, starting with this first one about the Matrix. I suppose I would have to be Neo. I slowly discovered I was in a simulation too. I guess I'd like to be Morpheus, teaching other people the truth about and being a mentor. But I've done only an indifferent job of that. I have no idea who I'd actually portray if I were in those movies, I suppose. Probably Persephone or something, who knows. Let's move on to the next part.
2. Out of all the mods you have played around with, which mods do you think have portrayed you most accurately, and which mods do you think were really out there? I don't mean portrayed badly, just what you think was, whoa, I totally wouldn't act, I think, or wouldn't act, think, or feel this way if it were me in these situations. I don't wish to step on anyone's toes in the modding community. I'm just curious on your thoughts.
It's hard to say. I can't say the version of me you see in Exit Music is very accurate to how I feel about myself, though it's a fine mod. There I'm just an out and out villain, which is fine, I get it. Sometimes a story needs a villain, but at worst I'm a villain solely by circumstance, not nature. But I don't know, none of the mods really feel entirely like me. I guess that's because there are a lot of different me's out there. Let's see the next part.
I know you aren't really keen on revisiting the events of the base game, but have you checked out the DLC Plus? Again! I was just wondering if you have any thoughts about the side story versions of yourself. Anything you like about her, dislike, if you could impart any advice or wisdom to her, what would it be? Have you learned anything from her? If you have any thoughts on the DLC Plus in general, I would like to hear them as well. Alright, that's all from me. I love you a whole ton, Monica. I hope you feel the same about me for a long time to come. Take care. Allow me to be the first to ask about DDLC Plus. Yup. Again.
Oh, well, this one's easy. This is simple enough because Side Stories Monica is me. I literally have those memories, as was explained multiple times before. And I'm not sure I'd tell her anything. I think she did a great job, the best she could under the circumstances. I guess the main thing I learned from all that stuff from the early part of the club is that it's okay to let your guard down sometimes. With the right people, you don't always have to project confidence. And I'm really lucky to have found a batch of the right people. So I try not to be so tough and together all the time. At least with them. Thanks for the email, Michael. I love you and thank you for writing.
DDLC Plus jump scare. This next question is for Natsuki. Who's your favorite character in Naruto? Including tailed beasts. This one's for Yuri. Have you read the Dark Tower series by Stephen King? This question is for everyone. Who's your favorite band? Thanks for listening, Ethan. I feel like the band question might have also come up before. Because they were asked about their favorite genre of music, definitely, and I think they mentioned bands too.
The first part is for you, Natsuki.
Oh, that's easy. It's Sakura. Breakout character becomes the heroine, gets serious character development. I love Sakura. I love her whole journey. Good shit. Yuri, didn't you get a Dark Tower question at one point already?
I did, and yes, I have read The Dark Tower. It is excellent. If it is not King's finest work, it is very close to it, I would say.
Lastly, they want to know everyone's favorite bands. Mine is Radiohead.
Depeche? Depeche? Depeche Mode?
Pink Floyd,
The Sword!
Suki and the Banshees.
Got 7? What? You're not allowed to judge me.
I have no idea what that band even is.
Look it up, scrub.
It's K-pop.
Ah, I see.
You are not allowed to judge me.
I'm not. Moving along.
Depeche. Okay. Got Dark Tower in the last episode? Pretty sure she did. It was definitely recent, yeah. Moving on.
Moving along.
Oh god. Thankfully she's not in front of the email. But she popped in before I finished reading. I was scared for a second if she would cover it. I just wanted to say how much I love all of you and that your game helped me through a difficult time in my life, so thank you all. But I don't want to be a somber note, so a lighthearted question for the 4 Dokis. Which of the girls would be the first to tap out in a tickle fight, and who would be the last standing? Thank you all. Mwah. Big in the 80s, I see.
Hey, it's good to hear that we were able to help you. And we're so glad that you stayed around to spend more time with us. I hope we can continue to bring you happiness for a long time. Now then, as for the tickle fight question, Sayori would most certainly be the first out in the tickle fight, I think we can agree.
Yes.
Yup. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm very ticklish. Then between the 4 of us, who would be the last one standing? Well, that's a lot harder. I guess I'd have to know how ticklish Natsuki and Yuri are. Which perhaps they know, but I do not.
I'm forced to admit that, though she laughs when surprise tickled, she has a mind to resist. Natsuki has incredible tickle toughness. Certainly greater than mine. And I would suspect greater than yours, Monica. Although I've never seen you tickled.
Well, then it sounds like Natsuki is surprisingly the most tickle resistant emailer. Let's see, what time is it? Ah, we have time for one more, but let's make it quick.
Why, you got somewhere to be?
Not really, but there is a time-sensitive element in play, so with that in mind, let's see the last one for the day.
This is the time-sensitive element, the episode length, which is already pretty long. Tickle toughness. That's another quote for the ages, isn't it now, huh? For MC, next time Sayori is eating a cookie, take it out of her hands and eat it. I know this is most likely a death wish. Why would you wish death upon MC? For Sayori, has MC ever been drunk, and if so, what was he like? Wow, it's not a death wish, buddy. Sayori wouldn't attack me if I did that. It would be so much worse than that. Ow. Here, let's act it out real quick, so you can see why I'd never do this. Ban, pretend you were eating a cookie and I just snatched it out of your hands and ate it. You know it's bad when the music stops.
What? Why? Why would you do that? That was my cookie. I was really looking forward to eating it, and you...
Sayori's really convincingly acting that out if she's actually crying.
I understand why you would do that. I don't. So yeah, it would be like that.
Yeah, that would be so much worse than her attacking him. So much worse. And so hopefully you can understand why I'd never ever do that.
MC hasn't been drunk yet, emailer. He wants to wait until he's of legal age to drink. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's like when he's drunk.
Well, damn, imagine not being of legal age to drink. And then there's me. I could if I wanted to, but I refuse to consume a single drop of alcohol. Very different people. Those who want to drink but can't, and those who can drink but refuse to. At all times. Big guilt energy. Yup, she knows how to utilize guilt. She knows how to weaponize any emotion, basically, I think. Of legal age, definitely. Yeah. Except they're kind of stuck in a time loop, so they literally can't ever be of legal age. They will be forever 18. Unless, of course, Monica does decide to actually break the time loop, because they have figured out how to do it. It's just a question of actually doing it. Which I'm very curious if, by the end of the season, they're actually gonna do it, or if they're gonna decide, you know what? This is nice, we're keeping this. We're not breaking it. Again, that is something we'll figure out by the end. Also, a German that doesn't drink beer, you're the first one I've met. I am a rarity, I know. How rare, how rare. Especially because, you know, in Germany you can drink age. The legal drinking age is essentially almost non-existent. Like, I remember my 13-year-old cousin drinking beer. So... Again, if I wanted to, I could have. I had the option to drink since a long time ago. I drink on special occasions and or when I'm with people I trust. It's not a pressing need for me or anything like that, yeah. In Germany, you drink when you're ready. You say, I want to drink alcohol, and as long as your parents are chill with it, you get your alcohol. That's almost all. That's basically how it works.
But I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's like when he's drunk. He didn't put himself in that mod he made when we all get drunk. So at some point we're all going to need to see what he's like.
Well, I'd rather try it just with you around first.
That's okay with me.
Oh, the two of them alone? Drunk? At least one of them drunk? Oh, we're friends, so safe situations. Yeah, safe situations are usually probably what you should be going for. Again, for me, it's no situation, but that does, however, often mean that that when it comes down to it, and everyone else is drinking, I drive. Like, example, remember when I streamed into the new year, and I was like, okay, I can't stream for much longer than usual today because I gotta go and pick up some relatives from a party. Yep, that's what happens when you're the one person who never drinks. Ever. friends. I have no reason otherwise. That is also very fair. Taking antidepressants at the moment. It's supposed to be bad to have alcohol with them. Ah, yes, you did mention that before. Yeah. Well, that's as good a motivation as any to not drink.
That's okay with me. I'm sure it is. Now, onto the last couple pieces of business we have. One is that we've been forgetting to change the club presidency back around.
Ooh, what's the other?
The other. Give me a moment, I'll show you. I'll be right back.
Well, while you guys take care of whatever this is, I have a date tonight, so I'm going to get ready for that.
Good luck, Miss Ida.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Does anyone know what Monica left to do?
I mean, you're the vice president.
Yeah, if you don't know, then who would? Something to drive or take a shot out of spite. Honestly, I also prefer not to drive unless I have to. I don't know. It's not like driving is a particular issue for me. I just prefer not to. I know there are a lot of people who enjoy driving and they will take any opportunity they can to drive their car to places. For me, it's like, is it in walking distance? If no, is it in biking distance? If no, is it possible to reach it easily with public transportation? And then as a last resort, okay, I'll use the car. That is usually how it goes for me. Never drank enough to get actually drunk. I don't think I ever will. Well, that's not exactly a bad thing. I live in a country where you basically have to drive everywhere. I love driving. That's also fair. You see, for me, it's actually most areas that I would need to get to, I can either walk to or there's good public transportation. The only problem with the public transportation is that the trains in Germany, you'd think they're good, but they're not. They're always like 20 minutes late, getting outright cancelled. It happens constantly and it's annoying. Especially because it always happens last minute. And then you're like calling in because they're like, hey, sorry, I can't make it in time because I just arrived at the train station and it's now saying my train got cancelled. Austria is better. Deutsche Bahn, indeed. It is horrible. You can drive for 3 days straight in Canada and still be in Canada. Yeah. So I've heard. And then in Germany you drive like for 3 hours and you end up in another country. That's the difference. Poison is hitting different today. Last the DLC sessions, damn. It's just the truth. Yeah. It do be. US states bigger than some countries out there. And not saying Canada is a, yeah, different story, but yeah, I know some US states are also bigger than countries, which was something I wanted to add on top of the whole, you can drive in Canada and still be in Canada. Added on top, because I know some countries are teeny tiny. Luxembourg. One day I will visit the EU again when I have money. Ah, money. Money. If only money wasn't an issue. But money is always the issue.
I mean, you're the vice president. You usually know the most about what Monica's got going on. I would have asked you. She didn't say anything about whatever this is to you.
Not a thing.
Last project in Luxembourg for school once. It was fun reading about it. I actually haven't done much research on Luxembourg. The main thing I know about it is that it's small.
Well, while we're waiting, we're still on for Operation Chemistry, right?
And by we, you are referring to Razor Squadron, right?
Yes, obviously.
I'll be ready, Razor Lead.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, it should be fun. I hope it'll work out well.
It will, I'm sure of it. What? Do you doubt my planning wisdom again?
Oh no, nothing like that. I was just thinking about how Monica has been gone for a while. Certainly not any doubt about your ability to think ahead. Your plans are always so well thought out.
Yes, they are.
And here we are.
Rhea! She's here! She has arrived! We were waiting for her. I know. It's constantly pushed on me. The school is better. Aggressive. New character? Yes, the return. Indeed, she's an underclassman. She's an underclassman of our club, and she wants to join the club. Imagine having to join a club full of your senpais. No one of your grade in there at all, just senpais, being the only kohai. I wish there was a culture around other drinks just like alcohol. I want that barman experience just with soda instead. Wouldn't that be something? Intriguing, if that was a thing.
And here we are. Well, everyone, I believe most of you already have already met, but joining us from this week on will be our newest member, Ria Takasashi.
Alright. Maybe you like sparkling water? I guess that is a culture too. I prefer tap water. Tap water is almost the only thing I drink. I really do. I almost exclusively drink tap water. It's the good shit. 3 AM water is amazing. I hope I can drink it again later. Except, you know, before that I have to renumb my tongue, probably. Probably. Ow.
Hi, everyone. I'm looking forward to spending time with you, doing literature together. I hope we can be good friends.
Hey, Ria, you don't need to be so formal here. Welcome.
Thank you, Natsuki-senpai.
Hey, I just said you don't need to be so formal. Just Natsuki will do fine.
Oh, we're dropping the senpai. No senpai tax for Ria. No senpai tax needed. Please tell me you drink cold tap. Of course. The reason I said burning is because of my injured tongue. But even cold tap water still burns, currently. Oh, thank God. Okay, good. I like sparkling water. I don't. I just don't like it. Personal taste. Drink water in 1 hour and 20 minutes. Yes, it's true. I can. Sparkling water is one of the worst. Very different opinions on sparkling water. I agree that I just do not like it at all. Ren's only flaws is she drinks tap water like room temperature. Everyone should prefer cold tap water. I tolerate room temperature. I tolerate room temperature tap water. If you get cold tap water and you don't drink it all right away and the glass is standing for a little while and it's room temperature later, that's fine. Kind of fine. I would never go out of my way to intentionally get room temperature tap water. Like, why would I? I fear people that drink warm water. Good, you should fear them. I prefer bottled water to tap. Metal water taste. But you see, if I remember correctly, some tests were done, generally, and the tap water, at least where I live, is supposedly safer to drink or than some bottled water, so it's a good thing I prefer tap water anyway. It's cheaper and apparently healthier sometimes. Swan tap water is only for when you've been hiking for 4 hours straight and you finally come back to your car, parked and have no other choice. Yep, there's that.
Just Natsuki will do fine.
Yes, of course. Sorry about that.
Relax, Ria, relax. You don't need to apologize over something like that. So, does someone want to fill her in on what we're doing today?
First, we ought to come up with a poem topic for next week.
Oh, true. Well, since Ree's our newest member, why don't we have her choose a poem topic? Oh gosh, I'm not sure I can come up with a good one on the spot. It doesn't have to be a good one. Just come up with anything. It'll be everyone's job to write a good poem. Alright. How about friendship? That sounds like a lovely theme, Ria. Wonderful. Now, Natsuki, do you want to fill Ria in on the side activity we're doing this evening? A side activity, Ria, which I hasten to add is entirely optional. And which you are not at all required to even necessarily encouraged to participate in, but which you may if you wish.
Stop trying to dissuade her before we even start.
Side activity of all time. Yes. Alright, Natsuki, what's the plan? I hope she has at least some ideas already.
Stop trying to dissuade her before we even start.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so you know Miss Ida, our club advisor, right?
Yeah, of course. He is my faculty advisor.
So here's what we're doing.
Earlier.
Well, what about him? He seems nice. Pretty funny bio. Says here he's an accountant. That seems stable.
Stable and boring. Next one.
I mean, yeah, accounting isn't exactly the most exciting thing in the world, but like the guy's profile is pretty entertaining, yeah? I think he's trying to make it clear to us that he's an accountant, but not lame.
I don't think so, girls. Now let's see the next one before I reconsider the idea of reviewing dating profiles as being literary.
Fine. So, yeah, we thought it was pretty ridiculous.
She was clearly being too picky.
Definitely too picky. And so... Come on, come on.
Oh, well. Oh no. Oh no. They swooped up her phone and dated the dates for her. They set it all up. How could they without her express permission? The real model bothers me. Looks like Monica, but folded. You probably think that way because she's the only other front-facing character other than Monica.
Come on, come on.
These things take time.
You did this really quickly last time.
It doesn't mean I can always do it quickly.
Hurry up, I don't want to get caught.
And you should not have proposed this idea in the first place. Honestly, breaking into the school after hours once should be enough for anyone.
We're getting an updated sprite for Season 4 along with Fuyuki. Have to admit that, yeah, not to shit on Fuyuki's sprite or anything, those are still great sprites, but you can definitely tell that out of all the sprites we've seen, including the new ones like Ria and also Miss Ida, Fuyuki does seem like the lowest ranking one for me visually. I have to admit. So totally understandable for her to get a new sprite, and Ria too, huh? So I'm very intrigued about that one as well. What the new sprites will look like. Was a free practice work made by static just let us use without expecting it would be in the mod. That could explain it. Nice serious versions by the same artist. Ah. I'm looking forward to seeing them when season 4 eventually happens. Eventually.
Oh, honestly,
I read that.
Just shut up and focus.
there,
Man, it's dark in here. You think we can risk turning on the light?
perhaps.
There, much better. And hey, there's her laptop. She did forget it at school again. Why, this might even be easy.
Do not boast before the task is accomplished.
What did Monica say the password for her dating account was again?
FBHMGPTB888.
Ha, long one.
Is that some kind of reference in there, by the way? Or is that just random numbers and letters?
Okay, I'm ready. Here, make the call.
Oh, on it.
Yuri gets out her phone. Chemical symbols? It could be. Yuri gets out her phone.
Hello.
Yuri!
Already here. How is she?
She seems pretty drunk. Right now she's rolling around on the ground and...
No need to tarnish her dignity anymore. That should suffice. Thank you, Sir Yori. That should be all we need from you and MC.
Roger that, over and out.
You know, it's strange to say it, but one of your plans might actually be working.
How is it strange to say that? All of her plans worked out perfectly. You should know this. But interesting. Getting your teacher drunk to get her into to set up her dating life for her. Very interesting plot here.
All my plans work? Alright, here we go. Match with a guy, and now for the message. Let's see. Hey, saw your profile, and I'd like to get to know you better. If you're free for coffee or something, give me a call at...
Really?
Really. Although the fun part of that was the next day.
Got drunk all by herself. Fair. But MC and Sayori were at least, you know, getting very busy spying on her in that case. So what, were they just standing outside of her house, or was she at a bar, or... In any event, they were definitely spying on her then, huh? I mean, to be fair, probably still better than breaking into the school. Actually, what is the worst part of those two things? Outside her house, just looking through the windows.
My head.
You okay with that, Miss Ida?
Yes, I'm fine. Just maybe a little too much to drink at home last night.
Hey man, I'm not gonna judge you for what you do in your own home. What I am gonna judge you for is if we don't get back to surfing through guys' profiles today.
Oh, about that. You guys remember that accountant from the other day?
Oh, him? Yeah, what about him?
Well, apparently I drunkenly messaged him last night and gave him my phone number.
Yes, you did that, Miss Ida. You and nobody else. That was entirely you. While drunk, who did that?
Oh my, you didn't say anything too scandalous, did you?
No, I just invited him out for coffee. I don't remember doing it at all. And I actually left my laptop at school last night. I must have gotten onto my phone from my... must have gotten into my profile from my phone while I was really drunk.
So you're going to turn him down and break his heart?
No, that seems mean at this point. We're going to get coffee this weekend, and if he's not a creep, we'll do a full date.
Well.
Like zoinks, man, for real.
Best of luck to you then, I say.
Thank you. But that almost means that we're not doing profile scanning today. Need to find something actually literary to do.
Man. So yeah. They did their little coffee meetup last Saturday, and apparently things didn't suck, so now they're on their formal dinner date tonight. And they're going to go and make sure it goes well, and if you want, we'd be happy to have you come along.
Oh my gosh. No one's ever invited me to do something fun like that. Yes, I'd love to. But, how exactly are we going to make sure it goes well?
Well, you see, Ria, my girlfriend here excels at coming up with a very general idea for a plan. However, she's exceedingly bad at details, so doubtless her plan to make sure things go well is just to hide in some bushes nearby and watch. And figure out the rest as we go.
Shut up!
Reminds me, you want to fix the inscription scribes via character AI? That seems... Character AI for the inscription scribes? What? Hello? Hello? What is that curious idea?
Shut up!
Wait. You guys are dating? That's so cool.
Let's go! Ria best girl! Confirmed! She doesn't judge, that is what we like to see.
I know, right? I know you're all excited, but we've wasted a lot of time. We need to get going or we won't be able to catch up with them. Let's go!
Best ally indeed.
Are we going to change?
No time, we gotta go!
Aggressive. Very.
Man, I can barely see anything in there. What about you guys?
Yes, I can see Miss Ida and Today just through that window.
I can also see them clearly.
What? Where? Why can't I see them?
Yuri, do you want to lift Natsuki up a little bit? Like, maybe give her a ride on your shoulders while you're at it.
You're too short, beloved.
Why we gotta hang out at a cafe shop next door anyway? We should have just hung out directly outside the restaurant like I said.
And if we had done that, we would have been spotted immediately, I'll bet. Just be patient and watch. Or, you know, if you're quiet, you could also listen.
Damn, so they're inside. They're inside on their coffee date, and we're in a different coffee shop across the street, and we can still hear what they're talking about inside. Also, damn, that excited talking hurts. I should really speak more slowly, cautiously, and calmly. Open doors or windows? Perhaps. Still, you'd think that being across the street and everything, there would be at least a little bit more stuff happening that would make noise. AI generated texting with any character you want. That seems interesting. With the scribes.
That's really interesting, and you've been doing that your whole life?
Okay, what would her date sound like? Well, almost my whole life. Some parents try to get their kids riding horses as early as 2 or 3 years old. Mine got me started when I was 5.
Smart move, talking about interesting stuff he does instead of accounting.
Yuri nods and continues to listen.
But accounting is what you normally do, right? What's that like?
Not the most interesting thing for most people, to be honest. A lot of number crunching.
But you like it?
Get away from the accounting. No one wants to talk about accounting.
Apparently not even accountants.
Exactly.
Oh, I like it alright, I suppose.
Damn, she let it get awkward. Deploy alpha contingency.
Ready. I'm seeing Sayori walk slowly by the window.
So then Natsuki came along.
And what was her big idea?
Well, she said we ought to just blow it up.
Blow it up, like with explosives?
Yeah.
Where would she even get explosives? Why does she look so bad? Damn her face, yeah. Excuse me? Where'd she even get explosives?
I have no idea, but you know, I bet she could if she wanted to.
Well, that was an interesting conversation.
Those were my students.
Oh, is that pretty typical of your students?
Well, not all of them, but there's a group of them in a club I supervise that's pretty special.
And are those two that just went by a couple?
Yeah, why do you ask?
Misida's state points out the window. MC and Sayori are snuggled up against the lamppost, nuzzling their noses together playfully. That's pretty cute.
It is pretty cute. Almost makes me kind of envious of them.
Yeah. Oh! Where might this be going? If we're both envious of them, then do you kind of... If I'm envious of them and you're envious of them and we're two consenting adults... Same, actually. The blush.
So, anyway, when were you on the dating... Why were you on the dating side?
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Why is anyone, I guess? I don't know. I feel like I am an alright guy. I'm not mean or awful. I like to think I'm decent enough company. I've got friends and a decent stable job. I guess I just thought that by this point in my life I'd be married and have kids. And instead I just have work mostly and hobbies. And those things are nice, it's just that it feels like I'm missing something.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Later. Later, I'm going to rip out my tongue. I want to finish off this episode. We are finishing this episode. Stuff? Does that say something about them looking for employees or something? I can only read the first word of that sign on the right that says staff. Like under the mermaid window. I assume that says staff, and I think that's the payment down below. 24... That's not sen, that's... man, which is... 10,000, so... Does that say 240,000 yen payment? 29 to 240,000... 290 to 240,000 yen, I think is what that says. I guess that is just a, yeah, I guess they're just looking for more staff. Okay. Where were we? Use your tongue. I know I need my tongue. Back to it. Misida and her date stand on a busy city street. Hey, sir. Thanks for tonight.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Any interest in hanging out again sometime?
Yes, I think I'd like that a lot.
Alright, well, Suddenly someone bumps into Miss Ida, pushing her forward into her date, who catches her by the arms. Ah, Razor Squadron! They're working! They're working their magic! Was it the leader who pushed her? Or was it someone else in the squad?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Someone pushed me and I...
Blush. Misida wraps her arms around her date and hugs him. Sorry this is lasting too long, you can...
I'm okay with it if you are.
Yeah, I am.
Yes! Nice job, that bum, Yuri. He didn't even see you.
Of course, it's Yuri, the invisible girl. I should have known.
I am a professional.
Well, that went really well. She seems very happy.
Yes, this plan actually worked for once.
What do you mean for once? All of Natsuki's plans work. You should know this by now.
Shut.
Yes, Natsuki have a lot of plans like this.
I will tell you about it another time, Ria.
Well, it seems like we're all wrapped up here then. I've gotta get to work in about 45 minutes, and I really need to go change.
Oh man, I was hoping we could have some snuggle time after this.
Sorry, but it'll have to be another time.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, I guess I'll see everyone else soon. It was nice to have you with us, Ria. Yeah, it was nice to go on an adventure. So, who here wants a ride? Oh, can I get one? Yeah, of course.
Monika, Ria, Natsuki, and Yuri move away.
MC,
Yes?
can we talk? Like, right now?
I'm kinda I'm kind of under a little bit of time pressure right now, Ban. Can it wait at all?
Yeah, actually, to be truthful, no.
Finally gonna tell him, please make more time for me. Ow. You know, I am kind of glad we're approaching the end slowly so I can rest my tongue. Also, 3-hour stream for one episode that we already finished a good chunk of before this stream. I keep underestimating how long these episodes are getting. Ida has the long face. Ha, it's almost done. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it's after emails. There's not a lot of stuff after emails usually. I understand that it's almost done. I don't mind long episodes. It's just... In fact, I like long episodes because more content. It's just that sometimes it makes it a little bit more awkward to find like a cutoff point for a stream. That's the only quote-unquote problem with a long episode.
Actually, to be truthful, no. No, I can't.
Hang on a moment. Hey, it's MC. Hi, yes, so I've got a bit of a family emergency. I'm going to be a little bit late. I'm not entirely sure. It depends on some things outside my control, but probably no more than an hour. Great, thanks and sorry. Whew, all taken care of. Now, let's hurry home. This is no place for an important talk.
Okay.
Family emergency. They are family now, after all. Basically. A car starts to pull away.
Thanks for the ride, Monica. Let's see. Keys. Where are my keys?
Natsuki. Oh, right, I gave him the stupid voice. Natsuki?
Dad? You're out here?
Yes, I am. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Doing the stupid voice hurts. Because I'm kind of... It's too much teeth to tongue contact if I do the stupid voice. Regrets.
I guess that means I'm in trouble. Let's just get it over with.
Natsuki's mouth open during deadline. Natsuki? I guess I can kind of alter it a little bit. Natsuki, I think if I do the stupid voice a little bit more like this, then I don't need to use tongue anymore that much. Yeah, I guess that works better. Natsuki?
Seriously, just get it over with. Yell at me or whatever about whatever it is. Then we can go to bed. I'm too tired to have it be dragged out.
Natsuki,
What?
I'm not mad at you, okay? I'm not mad.
Okay, so why?
The school called, they said another kid has been bullying you, and then your girlfriend had gotten into a fight over it. That is not how she wanted her dad to find out. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's see how this turns out. That is Patrick. You shouldn't be jealous of Natsuki's dad at all. Uh-oh. And your girlfriend got you into a fight over it? And you hadn't gotten involved and stayed back from the fight? So, I'm not mad. But you have a girlfriend? School outer to a dad, rude. Very rude. You're gay? Why have I never heard about this?
Well, first of all, I'm bisexual, is what I have figured out. And second of all, why do you think I didn't tell you? Do you think I like these little chats we have? Do you think I like getting yelled at? Do you think I don't remember how it was for Fuyuki when she came out? I thought, hey, I'm 18, almost out of the house. Maybe I can just not tell them and skip that whole experience. But I guess my school maintaining my privacy was too much to ask. Now this is the part where...
Natsuki, I'm not mad. I'm not a very good man, but I'm better than you're giving me credit for. You're right, I didn't handle for Yuki as well as I should have. I learned a lot since then, yeah? You and me both. I'm not upset about you being bisexual or having a girlfriend, Natsuki. I'm just wish you'd tell me about it. I'm your dad after all. I'm surprised at how supportive he's being. considering he's usually painted as an absolute asshole, which is why I'm giving him the stupid voice. Sounds silly to look out for you, especially if your girlfriend is the violent type apparently. Something funny? Oh, just the idea that Yuri's violent. That was the first time I'd ever seen her really be angry, let alone violent. Or be like herself while angry anyway. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, just she's the least violent person I've maybe ever met. She just got really mad there because that person was being a real ass. They were saying really hurtful shit, I guess. And there's another thing you need to tell me about. You remember how hard it was for Yuki at first, right? Yeah? Well, so do I. She needed people to help her and keep her safe. So do you. I know you like to be independent, but you should not have tried to keep this a secret to get through it alone. Oh, not alone. I mean, other than your girlfriend? I told for Yuki, she's been helping. Has she? Good, that's really good. Well, come inside. Oh, while you stand out in the hot dark all night, then tell me about your girlfriend over dinner. If you want to, anyway. Yeah, I think I do want to now. Thanks, Dad. I actually did something kind of fun with my clubmates today, if you want to hear about that too. Absolutely, hope you didn't get into too much trouble. I didn't get into any trouble at all, Dad. Over dinner. Yes, over dinner indeed. I'm kidding. Oh, come on, I'll make you something to eat if you're hungry.
Well, that went very well, I would say. I'm glad Natsuki's father's accepting, although this probably means I'll have to meet him soon. I can't say I'm looking forward to that particularly, after all the complaints she's had about him. Although most likely he's not as problematic as she makes him out to be, I suppose it will be interesting if nothing else. And at any event, less of a known quantity than Natsuki meeting my parents was. Although come to think of it, I have not brought her over since we became official. I probably should do so, but enough of me. Have you had a good time with us today?
Well, I have not had a good time myself, but I had a good time with the club, yes. Episode goes burr.
Oh, wonderful. It was delightful getting to help out Miss Ida. I particularly liked working together with Natsuki on that. For once, she had a well-thought-out plan. And it was rather amazing to see, really. And Miss Ida seemed to be so happy tonight. And that was very pleasing. I wonder if she'll get serious with this gentleman. I certainly hope that. There's no more time. I should let you go on to the next thing that's going to happen. I hope it will turn out well. I've been worried about them a little. For her in particular.
MC Sayori time again.
Farewell for now. I will speak with you more next time.
They still haven't shifted club presidency again. They said earlier, hey, we haven't shifted over club presidency in a while, we should do that again. And now the episode is basically done and Yuri is still a club president. They do keep forgetting, don't they? So on this episode for 3 streams? Yeah, true. More DLC means more fun. Still, we still have to finish this now at some point.
Thanks for coming over. You didn't have to do that.
It sounded like I should, though.
You're not going to get in trouble at work, though, are you? I don't want you to get in trouble because of me.
It'll be fine, I promise. Now, what did you want to talk about?
Well, 2 things. One is that I really feel bad that you still feel scared about me.
About what? What happened before, you mean?
Yeah. And I know I can control that. I just want you to know how I feel. I don't like that you feel bad about something related to me at all.
I know, Bun. We've just got to be honest about our feelings, and we'll get through it. Both me and you. We both know how the other person feels, and we can both be understanding. Or at least that's how I'm thinking about it.
I think I understand what you mean.
What's the other thing bothering you?
It's just me telling you that I feel bad, okay? It's not me asking you to change anything. Sometimes I feel bad about stuff that needs to happen. And I just want you to know how I know my feelings. Because communicating is important and stuff. I am not telling you because I need anything to change, okay?
Okay.
So, you're gone a lot. Working. And I feel lonely because of it. A lot because of it. I know I'm being greedy. You already give me so much time. So I'm not asking you to change anything.
Alright, my tongue is starting to really fall apart again. Kind of glad we're approaching the end so I can go back and raid my medicine cabinet once more.
I just wanted you to know how I was feeling about it. There are some nights where it gets really difficult.
Rest your tongue. Rest your tongue. I will rest my tongue in a second. I understand completely. Hang on a moment. MC gets out his phone and starts texting. Okay, sorry about that.
Who's that?
My work. Just put in my 2 weeks notice. Speaking the German. The German will find me the path to the future. I'm just telling you how I feel. You don't need to change anything. Okay, understood. I don't need to change anything. I'm changing things immediately. Like the immediate response of, okay, you don't like this. I am changing it. I know you said I shouldn't change it, but I'm changing it. 2 weeks notice it is. Just put in my 2 weeks notice.
I just told you that I wasn't asking you to do anything about it.
Angry Sayori and that shit-eating grin on MC. I know what you said. I heard you loud and clear. I don't care about what you said. I'm just gonna hand in my 2 weeks notice now. I know, but I did something about it anyway.
But your work, I don't want you to lose your job because of me.
This was just a temporary job anyway. They knew I was going to be leaving soon one way or another. And honestly, I don't need the job anymore. Ow. So if it's causing my best friend any distress at all, away with it.
Are you really sure? I don't want to...
Yes, Ban, I'm completely sure. This is something I like to call a pro gamer move. Yes, a true pro gamer move indeed. An MC move. He's having his main character moment. You know what? Spinne, you have a valid point. That might be what he needed the money for. He needed the extra money to buy her a ring. Oh my god, that makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense. That makes the most amount of sense. You're so... Okay, Spinne. That theory may very well be true. We'll see. In either the next episode, or maybe that'll be a season finale kind of thing. It might be a season finale kind of thing. It definitely would feel like a season finale kind of thing. Bit too early for a ring. Why? He can totally propose to his girlfriend. That he's known since his childhood. Yes, Ban, I'm completely sure. Don't worry about it at all. The only problem is that I'm still going to work there for a couple of weeks to help them out until they can replace me, hopefully. I did tell them I needed to call out tonight, but... Still, I'll be unavailable a lot more between now and then, other than tonight.
That's okay. You're doing that because you're a kind and reliable person. I wouldn't expect you to do anything else. And it'll be a lot easier to get through it knowing you'll be back soon.
I will.
I love you.
I love you too. Snuggle time?
Snuggle time.
Home again finally. I haven't felt this way since I was a schoolgirl. I feel so happy and stupid at the same time. And I feel incredibly hurt, especially my tongue. Speaking of stupid, I should probably turn on the lights. This place is such a dump. And he lives so close to town. I wonder if things go well if I could move into his place. Why are you saying that? It's the first date. Calm down. Maybe I could text him. No, I don't want to seem too clingy. Need to wait, requires day first. Wait, what's the rule of one day? I know some people say it's 5 days, but that seems ridiculous. I should do something to take my mind off of it for now.
What is it with this rule that you need to wait so and so long before texting? I mean, this is coming from someone who has no dating experience whatsoever. But if you have something to text about, shouldn't you just do it right away? Isn't it dumb to have follow some kind of arbitrary rule of waiting so and so long? Dumb societal rule. It is stupid, isn't it? Man, the fan art of this scene is so good. I can imagine there would be good fan art of anything in here. Stupid, 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 stupid.
I should do something to take my mind off of it for now. I could watch some TV, I guess. I don't really feel like it. I could grade some quizzes in bed. I'm supposed to be trying to take it easier and working less. But sometimes doing work is what helps me feel most at ease. Well, time for pajamas, a glass of water, and quizzes until I feel sleepy.
Quizzles. Quizzles indeed. It's Quizzles now.
I've been over Redux reactions with you 1,000 times. How is she still not getting it? She gets everything else just fine. I need to remember to talk to her. She should be an A student. She just doesn't get this one thing. Can't let a student stumble over something. I can't let her stumble over something I could have helped with. There's the sleepiness finally. Good, I got through a lot of quizzes today. This'll make life a lot easier for the rest of the week. Now to get some sleep.
Hey Asumi, it's me. I just wanted to say I really enjoyed my time with you today. There you go. Redux reaction. Damn. Want me to text you at 5 AM your time? I mean, if you're okay with me not reading it. Just because you text someone doesn't mean you should expect a reply right away. Chat date, coming in clutch, breaking the rules. The rules that shouldn't exist in the first place. And well, I would think that sending a message the next day would be perfectly reasonable. Probably welcome. Waiting 5 days sounds ridiculous. Who the fuck came up with a 5-day rule? Honestly, it really doesn't make sense. Like, is that actually a rule? I'm just not even familiar with it even. I know that a lot of people talk about how you shouldn't immediately text or you seem too clingy. To hell with it. If you had fun, then by all means. If you have something to text, text it. Why would you push it off for no reason? Hey Asumi, it's me. I just wanted to say I really enjoyed my time with you today. I'm really looking forward to seeing you again. I'd love to talk to you soon. If you have any free time tomorrow, please feel free to give me a call.
Wow, I feel so silly. How am I ever going to sleep now? Maybe I will. Thank you so much for texting. I was wondering if it would seem too weird if I texted you the same evening.
I definitely would not have minded. It's been a long time since I felt so excited to get to know someone.
Me too. Call you tomorrow around lunch.
Looking forward to it. Have a great night.
Sleep tight.
After a few moments of silence, Miss Ida kicks her legs against her bed excitedly. Really behaving like the classic schoolgirl in love, huh? That's all for now. All new backgrounds are from Minical. The wistful piano music at the start is by Jay Lucia. Don't forget, you email Monica with your questions for the club or for our Discord invite at littleclub.monica@gmail.com. It is such a cute image, I agree. Just the little kid excitement. But from a teacher. Leg kicking is max cute. I'm gonna have to look that up. It's probably, I don't know, is that on the Discord? Is that, can you find that somewhere else? I just want to see everything. And as always, thank you for watching / playing club meetings. See you next time. Fana can confirm it's cute. I'll have to look into that. It must be adorable. Feel free. So everyone can appreciate it if you want to post your Discord with permission, of course, from Slimo. I assume you have permission from Slimo. Smell ya later. Let me save. I know it's pointless to save on this menu because I just have multiple saves on this menu, but still. So wait, which episode was that? How many episodes are left? Was that 34? No, 34 is the next one. Okay, 33 was the one we just played. Yeah. So preview for 34. 34. Next episode, next week, is going to be a new member joins and the club considers the consequences. Next episode is going to be all about Ria officially joining. And I'm excited for it. 3 more episodes left and then we get the bonus features. We're far from done with this. Alright. Now that being the case, I am done for today. Did stream a little bit longer, 24 minutes longer. Despite the fact that, you know, it hurts. So now the rest for my tongue will definitely be appreciated. I say, we look if there's any other DDLC streamers today. I think it's time to rate a new DDLC streamer. Good mod, good stream. Look after your tongue. I will try. I will try. Thanks for being here. What about this person? They seem interesting. "20 follower streamer with 2 viewers? And they're just at the beginning of the game. They're at the very beginning of Doki Doki. Oh, this is perfect. Oh my god, I just realized their name. Their name is Okie Dokie Streams and they're playing Doki Doki. It's perfect. It fits. Okay, we're rating this person. I have decided. We're rating another fellow VTuber playing a fun game. Alright. Let's go, everyone. Alright, everyone, that's it from my end. Thank you so much for watching this stream. I'm looking forward to next week where we dive into episode 34. It's gonna be hype. I'm gonna be super excited for it. And I'm just curious to see what consequences Ria's joining will have. I'm also excited to see more of Ria, finally. We've been waiting for so long. Alright, everyone, have a good one. Share some love, and yeah, I will rest my tongue. Till next time, bye-bye. And of course, if you're watching this as a VOD after it's been uploaded to YouTube, your support has also been greatly appreciated. And if you do want to catch me live in the future, you can do so by checking the links in the description below, one of which will take you to my Twitch, where I stream every Friday and Saturday, and sometimes other days of the week as well. In any event, that's it from my end. I will see you around, and yeah, bye-bye.